What just happened? Hate when it does this. Hold on a second. Welcome to another edition of Quoth the Raven for August 13th, 2020. In accordance with our YouTube copyright regulations, this episode of Quoth the Raven is intended for ages 16 and up. While some of the content we may feature is considered kid-friendly, the context of the episode is to address and educate older teens and adults, to inform them of said content, to research as consumers in service of their youth. In other words, parents, grandparents, aunts and uncles, teachers, librarians, etc. And there's always the possibility of adult language present on the episode as well. Rated TV 16 and up. And we have a stacked house today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Comic Extravaganza episode. We have myself, the host, in the top left corner, Lewis Bright Raven. And we'll go around and let everybody introduce themselves, starting with Jake Smith.
Hello.
Well, tell me who you are.
Yeah, hello. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, but who are you?
I'm Jake Smith. Sorry. Your podcast is like replaying in my ear while you're talking. I'm like hearing your podcast again.
I wonder why.
Oh, I have your YouTube link open. That's why.
That's on you, man. That's on you.
Yeah,
How's he talking over himself? That's crazy.
That's production.
My name is Jake Smith. I'm the artist on Blood Force Trauma, a new comic on Kickstarter. My bad. Sorry, everyone.
And after him, to his right on the screen is Mr. Gary Shipman, artist.
Hey, everybody. My name is Gary Shipman. I am a comic book artist. Been doing comic books for a long time, I've been doing artwork, for over 30 years, but I've done comic books probably for about 20, 25 years. I'm probably best known for Packin's Land. I currently have a campaign on Indiegogo called Titan Mouse of Might. You can see a little image flashing down there if you want to go check it out. But yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Humphrey Bear says, I'm here. What did we miss? You haven't missed anything. We just got on.
We're just rolling.
Yeah, just started. And John, one of our regular, John Norris, is here on time. I thought he was going to be late, but he said he's here. And so good evening to John. And we're going to go ahead and keep on going down here to clockwise to Hiram.
Oh, hello. My name is Hiram. That's my
Have you guys
name.
ever done this before?
No, we like to keep it loosey-goosey.
This is my first podcast. I've never done a podcast in my life.
Really?
No.
We have a podcast. We've done like 200 episodes. I don't know why he's so not professional.
No. Like I don't know anything about comics. That's why I'm glad to I'm a co-writer on a comic book.
Have you guys ever done this before? Somebody's still listening to the YouTube. Turn off. Yeah.
Oh, someone's listening to YouTube. Okay. Sorry.
It's not me. That's not me this time.
That was me.
Oh, was it?
Oh,
Okay.
I co-write Blood Force Trauma along with Jake. I do other promotional means, and I'm working on one of the rewards for the Kickstarter right now. And I basically focus on like videos and animation, but like I just hopefully I'll write more issues of Blood Force Trauma because it's very fun.
And last but not least, and certainly our focus at the beginning of the show,
The focus. I don't need to be the focus. That's preposterous. My name is. I know. I'm such a glory hound. My name is Bob Frantz. I am the writer and co-creator of MetalShark Bro, and we currently have a campaign running right now on Kickstarter called Ninja Nuns, which is a MetalShark Bro spinoff that we're very excited about. So, hello and thank you for having me back on, Lewis. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have you on, Bob. You're one of our favorite guests, actually.
I don't know how. I was only here for like 20 minutes last time. I don't know how I'm a favorite.
Believe it or not, we got a lot of positive feedback when you were here.
Well,
I believe it.
You're just saying that. You say that to all the indie creators that come on your podcast that are playing with their ring lights to try to get the best.
That must have been the best 20 minutes for him to be on there. Your favorite, you know?
Hiram, I'm not trying to brag about my podcast prowess or my broadcasting abilities, but I've been doing this for a really, really long time. Before I did comics, I had a commercial radio career, so I'm very comfortable in front of a microphone talking aimlessly to people. So.
You better step it up, dude.
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. You're over there not know what the hell you're doing. I'm gonna run you over, Hiram. I'm gonna run you right over.
I can tell, man. It's already been almost 7 minutes, and this is the best 7 minutes of my life so far. So we're doing so good.
Man, nothing's gonna live up to this moment for you,
dude. I tell you what, man. I am a big fan of your guys' book. Like I remember. I backed the first Kickstarter, and then, like we were talking earlier, before any of this stuff happened, I really didn't get involved in the second campaign because you guys tried to do a whole graphic novel the first time, correct?
Yeah, the first time we were gonna just do it as a collection.
Okay.
And then we were like, oh, we'll do it. We'll break it up into issues, and it's a little bit more manageable, I guess. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, can I ask you? I'm sorry, I don't mean to take over your podcast, Lewis. I just had a quick question, mainly though, about this, and I guess I can save this all for Sunday when we record Word Bros together, because you guys are going to be on Kevin and I's podcast. But like, how is it different running? Like, is there a lot less pressure doing issue by issue, or do you just feel like you're constantly running Kickstarters and that it's just never going to end?
It is less pressure issue by issue, I feel like, because it's a smaller goal and it's a little bit more for people to digest, I guess. Like the graphic novel is great because you get the whole story in one. So it's like its own thing. And also I enjoy individual floppy issues. Like I love getting each issue in print. So it's not like a downgrade because I like the graphic novel, but I like all the individual issues. But what was the rest of your question?
No, just like is the pressure, like, is it less pressure to do it all, or do you constantly feel like you're just running Kickstarters?
Oh, well, I wish it could be one and done. I would love that because I don't like the thing of like, please, more money, please. But what I've noticed is like on Offbeat Town, which was my last Kickstarter book I did a while ago. I did it all in one because I was like, I don't want to bother people. Let's just do it in one. And then on this one, I had so many responses to the first issue being like, when's the next one? We want the next one. And I was like, oh, it's a product. So people will come back if they want it. Yeah. So it's not as much like I feel like it's a charity. Like you're getting cool stuff out of it.
No, totally. But it's just like, there's that mindset that you have to be in, at least from speaking personally, that you have to like gear up and go, all right, I'm going to run a Kickstarter. It's going to be awful. I'm going to hate the next 30 days of my life. It's going to be just like shamelessly promoting everything. And like to have to do that like several times a year, do you find that's like a tough hill to climb every time? Or is it worth it because you're getting to do what you want to do?
It's like there is pressure like throughout like every few days of being like, well, it's kind of died the last couple of days. But all in all, and it has funded, so that's taken some pressure off, like we're in stretch goal territory right now. So I'm like, well, no matter where it is, it's going to fund and we're going to make the thing, so It's always the first day. You know what I mean? The first day sets it. Like if the first day's bad, like I remember on the first one that failed, my girlfriend was like, "You made 1,500 today," and I was like, "Oh, we're gonna fail." It's like I knew that. I was like, she was like, "It's only 10 grand. There's 30 days left. You're gonna make it." And I was like, "No, we're not, because that's not how it works." So the first day is the worst, and then it gets easier. You know,
That's cool.
Okay. Quick question for Gary. Let's see. Where is it? Nighthawk Warrior asks if you're finishing the second page of Titan Phase 2 there that you're working on.
Yeah, this is the second. It's not page number 2, but it's the second page I'm working on for Phase 2, I guess you'd say.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. All righty then. So let's go ahead and go straight into Bob's book, Ninja Nuns. And this is his Kickstarter page. Who's got the music on?
I think that's. Can you? Are you hearing my son watching Pokemon?
I could be.
so.
Okay, hey Bobby, will you do me a favor and turn that down, buddy?
Oh, look who's not professional now. Huh?
Hey, I mean, he's to be fair, he's 7.
Oh, you tell him, be like, "You're fired."
Mommy's upstairs not feeling well, so my son's hanging out downstairs with me.
Like
I didn't want to bail on the last minute because I thought that would have been unprofessional. So
the lesser of two evils.
yeah, Mommy's not feeling good, so I'm just kind of downstairs. I just took him downstairs with me, and he's watching Pokemon. Bobby, what episode of Pokemon is this?
Don't tell the champion.
Okay. Yeah, so we're watching Pokemon. It's the original series. I know that because I can tell from the graphics. Not that I sound like a 1,000-year-old guy when I say graphics.
From the graphics.
It's from the graphics on the television. But yeah, that's the Kickstarter page for Ninja Nuns. We funded it in less than 12 hours, which is really kind of impressive and awesome. Ninja Nuns is it's a spinoff story for MetalShark Bro.
Oh yeah.
It's the kind of the foil. We just got it. Wow. Okay. As I'm talking, we just got another backer. Thank you. We broke 5,000. So now we're all going to get Jason Copeland mini prints. So that's that's pretty cool. Nice. So yeah. So in the first volume of MetalShark Bro was forced to fight these ninja nuns who were kind of like the swift punishment arm of the church, because there was a bishop who believed in the real Bible that MetalShark Bro was the signification of end times. So when he appeared, the church got to work and kind of put these nuns in action to fight him. They're like sword wielding, kind of katana blade wielding nuns. And it was it was kind of just like a throwaway gag. Like it was a cute little pun. They're ninja nuns. It's a nice little jokey thing. They fought. The ninja nuns had a giant robot. Like it was fun at the end. But then as we had the book and we were putting it out and people were reading it, one of the feedback that we received was like, "I want to know more about these ninja nuns. Like what's going on with these ninja nuns?" And it was just such an odd thing for people to say. Like, where are these ninja nuns? What do they do? So after we did the second volume, which one of the ninja nuns is, she plays a larger part in the second volume. Kevin, myself, and the editor of MetalShark Bro, Chaz Penguin, that's my son, Bobby. Say hi, Bobby.
Hi.
We got together and we decided to do like a book of shorts. So it's basically like an anthology piece, 40 pages. I think there's 4 stories. They vary from like 2 to 12 pages, and we're just telling like little adventures of the nuns, little adventures. And it's been really, really well received. Obviously, we funded in a day. We've got some great artists that are working on it. Tony Grigori, who's done some stuff for Vault Comics. He's doing a story there that Chaz Pangburn wrote. We're working with Dan Franco, who's a really great dude who's done some stuff around and about. And then there's another young lady by the name of Angela Sprecher, who we worked with in the past. She's did a 2-story little story for us. And then there's a guy by the name of John Burgeon who does a great book called Frog Boy. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. It's great. John's art is magnificent. It looks like something out of like Mad Magazine, like Al Jaffe. It's wonderful. It's so good. And he colors his own pages like with pens, and it's amazing. It's like to see this artwork. It's just crazy good. So he's doing a story as well. So it's just going to be like kind of eclectic, kind of weird looking stories, all telling, I guess, pieces of this Ninja Nun backstory, which we're really excited about.
Nighthawk Warrior is like, what is this comic about? It's basically about a subgroup of characters called the Ninja Nuns that appeared in Bob's earlier book called MetalShark Bro.
It's a cool little spinoff. Like there's 4 stories. One story is about like,
and there's 4 stories in one book.
Yes, it's 4 stories in one book. So it's like a little anthology piece. One of the stories is about the nuns taking on a necromancer DJ who wants to throw this rager of a party. So he takes over the weird floating skull of Mary Magdalene. There's another one about like a hippie jam band who have captured like a deity, and they use the deity for the purpose of like hallucinogenic drugs. So they have to go free this caged deity. There's another one that's just about some guy who wants to be rich, accidentally opens a portal, and some creepy creature comes through. So the Ninja Nuns have to do that. So it's just like kind of loosely religious based gags. And it's just a lot of fun, man. We had a really good time with it.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun, man. Like,
and as you see on the screen, they just funded the 5,000. So that print that you see on the screen with the ninja putting her swords through some sort of 4-armed monster, that will actually be sold.
Yes, that's because we might do the book. Scout Comics might put it out for us as like a one shot. So we had Liana Kangas do a cover if we go direct market, and Jason Copeland do a cover. So we're also going to do those as mini prints, and they're going to be prints in the book as well. So Jason Copeland, I don't know if you guys know who Jason is. He's a super talented artist out of Canada. He's got a book that he's working on called Full Tilt. He's so wonderful. He did Kill All Monsters with Michael May. I don't know if you guys remember that web comic, and then they had like a hardcover version of it that came out here. That's just awesome. Jason's a really good dude, and he's our game master for a Star Wars game that we play. And we asked him to do a cover, and he's like, yeah, I'll do a cover. So we're like, cool, do a cover. But Jason's also a big Frank Miller fan. He loves Frank Miller. It's a big influence on his work. And he's like, can I do a wraparound? Like, of course you can do a wraparound cover. So he did a wraparound cover just because he wanted to. That's
guy.
Yeah. Jason's awesome, dude. And like that book Full Tilt that he's working on is so sweet looking. Like, man, he's just great.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at his Kill All Monsters right now. It looks fucking cool. Dude. I mean, freaking cool.
No, I think you can say bad words, right, Lewis?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We had the disclaimer at the beginning. I forgot about that. That warned librarians. You know,
Kill All Monsters. Kill All Monsters is a cool
15-year-olds that might be listening.
Yeah.
Or watching Pokemon. I was more worried about your son.
No, I got headphones on. He's fine.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, dude. So it's just been cool. Those are some pages that Tony Grigori did. That's Chaz Pangburn's story right there that you're looking at. That fool accidentally summoned this weird evil tentacle god that came through this portal, and then the Ninja Nun has to show up and beat it back into its reality. It's just fun stuff, man. We're just having a good time. Like that's all we're trying to do. Just trying to world build our MetalShark Bro universe. The pages were colored by Josh Jensen. Those are really great pages. This is the that's a Josh Jensen page right there. This one that you're looking at right now is the DJ looking to throw the party of the spooky party. He's a necromancer. That is actually, if you Google the image of Mary Magdalene's skull, that last panel will come up, and that's where we got the idea from. It's the creepiest thing you've ever seen. That's a real thing. Like there is a church in France that has Mary Magdalene's skull in it, and it looks like something that Mike
set up like that.
Yeah, it's this weird thing that it looks like Mike Mignola designed it. Like it's a skull that looks
crazy.
It looks like it's in a weird space helmet. I don't think it has the whole
I
body.
knew that. I thought it was like in a box, like in the back or something. I didn't know they had it set up.
It's creepy. It's pretty creepy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so then we borrowed that idea to kind of give it like, so now the nuns are mad because Mary Magdalene is a sacred religious figure, so they're gonna go kind of help out. And then so that the artwork is wonderful. Dan Franco did the line work, and Gabriel Caffel did the colors, and the colors kind of pop, man. It just looks cool. But the thing is, like the book look at each page.
Oh, wow. I just noticed something.
What's up?
Wow. You did Power Rangers on the nuns. They all have each different colors.
Yeah, because you have to be able to tell them apart, like the Ninja Turtles. So they have different, because if not, then they would all just kind of look the same. So we had to kind of differentiate them so they have different colored crosses on their masks. So that's it's kind of cool.
That's
and then
incredible.
these pages.
Incredible.
This is just the 2-page story that Angela Sprecher did that we kind of came up with, where one of the nuns is a big comic book fan and she's going to Comic-Con and she gets kind of verbally assaulted by some comic book fans who think that she's playing like a sexy character. And they're like, you don't look like, I believe we call her Sex Nun. Like, you don't look like Sex Nun. That's the worst cosplay I've ever seen. So they beat her. So she beats him up. And that's just a quick little 2-page story. That's a lot of fun. And these are John Virgin's pages. Those things are hand colored.
Those are super pretty.
Those are, I mean, they're beautiful, man.
Those.
Yeah.
Really like those.
Yeah. It's a great, his work is so much fun. I met him at a con in Virginia back before the apocalypse happened. And he's just such a nice dude. And his work is so good. I can't talk highly enough about John and his professionalism and just the quality of his work. So we asked John to do a story with us and he said, yeah. And it's just beautiful, man. Those are hand colored pages and you can get a page. You can get a hand colored page by John for like $200. You'll get the book and the page. It's beautiful. So
nice. Nighthawk Warrior wants to know, Bob, who wrote this book? And
I do. I wrote it. I wrote a story. Kevin Cuff, my co-writer who helped us create MetalShark Bro, wrote a story. Chaz Pangburn, who's the editor of MetalShark Bro, he wrote a story in it as well. And then Kevin and I kind of came up with the little 2-pager just real quick. I mean, you're not going to care who gets credit to write a 2-page gag, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things that we put it together over the COVID thing. We were just kind of looking for something to do to keep going because everybody kind of put their pencils down. The company shut down. You couldn't pitch anything. You couldn't really do anything. So it was just a matter of like, let's do something.
Yeah.
You know, so we just did it. So here we are.
Yeah. Nighthawk asked, with the live stream, he wanted to know why I don't have that very many subscribers.
That's not nice. Like,
What a question.
how many subscribers do you have, dude? That's not.
I had 10,000.
My son's he's got 10,000.
Dude, that's crazy. Really? Man.
I don't have very many subscribers, and I don't know why, to be honest. I've been on for over a year, over a year now. And, it's like, I guess people just don't want to watch 3 hours, or something. I don't know.
But at the same time, too, man, as long as you're happy doing what you're doing and you feel like you're giving your audience, Bobby, can you turn that down a little bit? Like you're giving your audience a service, something that they enjoy, then it doesn't matter. I mean,
that's why I make comics. We don't make tons of money making comics either. I wish we did.
Yeah.
Comics are like hard to make tons of money at, but I do it because I like it.
Regina also in the room, I think still, and she said all the artwork for Ninja Nuns Bad Habits looks cool.
Yeah, it's cool stuff, man. We're very excited about it. We're really, we were just completely humbled and shocked that we funded it in a day. Like, it was pretty amazing. And now we're just kind of going through the stretch goal thing of it. And it's just, you know how it is, Jake and Harem, you know what's going on. It's just like, you're happy that you've made your goal, but you want to just kind of keep pushing. But sometimes you're just like, I don't want to push too much. Like, I don't want to become annoying,
Oh,
yeah, like, especially when you funded and you're like, more, please. And you're like, is that too much? But again, like we said right before, I want people to know, like, I want you guys to get all this good stuff.
Yeah.
But we need the money, Yeah.
And especially if you're doing stuff that you're very proud of, you want to just keep pushing it as far as you can. And like your guys' book just looks so much fun. Like I know you might notice you had another backer while we were doing this. I don't know if you guys noticed it. I don't know if you did. I don't know if you did. I don't know if you did, man. Notice you had another backer.
I'm on your page too right now. I wanted when it was live, I wanted it to jump up, but then I thought, what if I give too little and it looks bad? It's like $5.
No,
you look and $5 goes. You're like, thanks.
We already talked about this before we started recording. Kickstarter is essentially you're just handing $10 back and forth to each other.
It's like just hit 4,000.
Yeah, crossed that threshold. Thank you,
dude.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Finally. Yes. That's awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
No, dude, but like you guys have a really fun book. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, wow, that looks awesome. So like, can you tell me a little bit about a blood force trauma? This thing looks amazing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hiram, do you want to tell him? Because I don't want to like keep you from talking. You know.
I mean, sure. Like, it's really
Go for it, dude. Go for it.
That's a very open-ended question. Like, Blood Force Trauma is a love letter, is a comic book and a love letter to like anime and fighting games and like different types of like fighting comics. In a way, it's like it's very colorful. It's like if you're aware of Jake's previous book, The Softbeat Town, it's very grungy, it's very 90s, very punk, and like it's that kind of aesthetic, the very grungy aesthetic mixed with my love for 1980s and VHS and that kind of retro wave sort of vibe. And I think it's a really great marriage of the two. And the story revolves around Zap Daniels, who is a hacker gamer who is invited to be a part of this show where you fight to the death, and he's scared to death, and he wants to survive. So basically, he enlists the help of Lightning Legs Jones, one of our favorite characters, to help him on this next issue, which is going to be fun to see. I hope I summarize that in the best way possible.
It's got it's kind of like if it's got like a Running Man vibe to me. Like, do you remember the old Schwarzenegger movie, like Running Man?
I've got that on VHS right over there.
Yeah, like it's got that kind of vibe to it. Like you gotta go into this like fighting ring to survive kind of vibe. And it's just, it looks really cool, man. Like I love like the weird kind of like cyberpunk vibe it's a really cool looking book, man. I think you guys just crushed it. It looks awesome.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we were like,
let's go ahead and run the video for Blood Force Trauma.
Oh, sure. Yeah, if you want to. We're in it.
Oh, no.
It's a good video.
Oh, thank you. I'm proud of my VHS collection.
Panasonic.
Hey guys, I'm Jake Smith. And I'm Hiram Portman.
There we are.
Excited to bring you the second issue.
I'm so excited.
We want to say thank you so much for your support of issue 1. It was amazing. Thank you. And we hope that you are already itching for issue 2. For the silly ones out there who don't know what the book is about, in the grungy cyberpunk world of Atomic City, everyone's favorite TV show is Blood Force Trauma. A show that brutal warriors and fighters from all the known universes converge to battle it out to see who is the best. Our point revolved around Zap Daniels, an avid video game / hacker enthusiast who's a major fan of the show. Until he is unwillingly drafted onto the show as a fighter. Now he has to utilize the training of a couple ex-Blood Force Trauma champions if you were to survive the rest of the fighting season. He's going to have to battle a whole cast of crazy, colorful characters, all with their own weapons and unique abilities. We're so excited about this new issue. And this comic book is a love letter to all of our favorite video games and anime, and our hero Zap is going to meet his new mentor. Mega Man, Streets of Rage, Dragon Ball Z, just an amalgamation of all the things we love in popular culture. We've got a bunch of rad rewards for you guys. You can get the book, of course. You can get original art, pages from the book, high-quality art prints, T-shirts, an exclusive poster, just a bunch of nerdy loot that you guys love. Again, we want to thank you for your support. We genuinely love making this book, and we just want to be able to continue to do that and make new issues for you guys. We've got so many stories planned out that we would love for you guys to see, get to in the story. So thank you. Genuinely, I love this book. I love making this book. We're so excited about this new issue. Thank you guys so much for the support of the first one, and make sure you guys stay hyped and safe out there. So yeah, share the campaign around, tell your friends, get in on those sweet goodies. We love you, thank you, and God bless.
There we go. Those are some acting.
God bless you. That's wonderful. I mean, you're really going for it there, huh? Hey,
that's what he said on the first issue.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
Get on them goodies.
That's our new.
You're like Russell Simmons leaving Def Comedy Jam. Good night, God bless, and then that's it. Then you're out. That's awesome.
I'm killing it.
Yeah, that's all. Hey, everybody needs a shtick, and yours is God bless. I dig it, man.
That's my thing, man.
Yeah. Good night, God bless.
Good night, God bless. But yeah, it's all that stuff we love. Like you said about Ninja Nuns, it's literally what we want to do the most and what we love, and we're goofing off and kind of just like throwing out whatever ideas that we have and trying to form it into a cohesive story, and we're really excited about it. And Nighthawk Warrior, you're in for a treat. You've never heard of these comics? Your life is about to change.
Well, that's the cool part. I mean, that's the cool part about shows like this is you can meet new people, meet new creators, find new things. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff out there that's on Kickstarter. And I think that's part of the beauty of Kickstarter and crowdfunding is like books that wouldn't be seen by a publisher in a store that kind of represent different types of people, LGBTQ, all kinds of different vibes and attitudes and stuff like that. They can put their projects on Kickstarter and find an audience, and it's really awesome. So you're not just kind of stuck with, superhero books or, what I'm saying? You can kind of expand your horizon, which really makes it better for everybody, because I believe, and I'm sure a lot of you dudes as well too, the comics are indeed for everyone, and everyone should have access to this medium and these products. So if the market,
Definitely.
If a publisher won't let you do what you want to do, then just do it on your own.
Oh yeah, for sure. And comics are great because it's not a movie. You don't need $1 billion, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about comics.
It feels like it when you're running a Kickstarter and you have 48 hours left and you're $4,000 away from your goal. It might as well be $1 billion. But you're right though. You can do so much with it. And I love telling stories. I love comics as a medium. I've been a comic fan since I was 9 years old. Like it's just what it is. My daughter, who's 9 years old, has been reading comics since she could hold a book. You know what I'm saying? So it's just entrenched in our family. So it's just we have to create, and this is what we're doing, and it's wonderful.
And Warrior asks if this is a single issue or will you eventually put them in trade paperback, Jake?
Eventually, yes, we will put them in. When we get to like 6 issues, we'll collect them. But right now, these Kickstarters are for the single issues.
Okay. And one of the reasons he says he doesn't go on Kickstarter much, Nighthawk there. How do we get these books that are? I mean, we're trying to fund all of our books and get stuff through Kickstarter, but how do we get these books into stores without Diamond?
I mean, that's the $64,000 question. There are comic shops out there that won't pick up. They won't even look at your book if it's not available in Diamond. I mean, I've had it happen to me in the past when I used to self-publish stuff.
Hello, little one.
It's up to you. But yeah, so like if you're not in Diamond, you might not be getting in some shops. You have to try to find independent-minded shops that are willing to kind of do that. But that's why Kickstarter is great, because you're kind of skipping that avenue of distribution. You're just going directly to an audience and letting them kind of make or break you. And in Jake's case and Hiram's case, they've clearly been made. Same thing with us and MetalShark Bro. We were clearly made by this process, and we've been building our audience. I mean, there are great books that I don't think we'll ever see a publisher that publishers would love to have numbers like Skies of Fire. I don't know if you've ever heard of Skies of Fire. It's a book that's on Kickstarter, and they regularly fund like $30,000-$40,000 worth of stuff, and they do single issues. They're asking for 4, and they get that kind of response to what they do because they have a built-in audience, people that just want to read their stuff. So if you can do Kickstarter and you do it well, then you don't need the machine that is, kind of Diamond distribution.
One thing, I want to try Kickstarter.
My boy's a little ham. I don't know where he gets it from.
He's got 10,000 followers. He's got it started already. He did good.
Let's get Gary back in here because we're talking about the Diamond and the difference between Kickstarter and the other stuff as well. Your mic's muted there, Gary. There we go.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. We understand. First off, let me see if I can get him more. Nope, didn't want to do it. Okay, back to this. All right, just sometimes this Kickstarter thing won't work when I want it to. All right, you were saying before the chat. I asked you about whether or not you were interested in working with other publishers to get Titan with a publisher since we've worked with other publishers in the past. So as Bob and Jake were talking about with the difference with Kickstarter, you've had a different experience working on your own Kickstarter as well. I wondered what your thoughts were about what we've been talking about here.
Yeah. Well, I've done quite a few campaigns. I've done mostly on Indiegogo, but I do kind of hop over to Kickstarter. I don't do as well on Kickstarter as on Indiegogo, but that's just the way it is, I guess. But I've done, like, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, probably about six crowdfunding campaigns. And I believe all of them funded. I don't think I've done any that have not funded. But I also do set my goal real low. So just in case, I'd like to, because if I can make it happen, I'm not trying to, break the bank. I'm actually wanting to just create comics and create artwork. And I think the crowdfunding way has been phenomenal. It's been amazing. This has been the best that it's been for me as an artist. I've worked for different companies and things like that, and this has been the absolute best. Doing my own characters and putting it out onto social media and getting interest. It's a slow process, like you were mentioning about your channel numbers, and you just do what you love, and you just keep plugging along, and hopefully the people will come. That's what I say. I don't really look at things according to numbers that way. I think that it's a blessing to be able to do something that you love to do, and if other people enjoy it, that's great. So, but yeah, the crowdfunding thing, I think it's great. I love it.
Yeah, well, what I was saying was, we have one difficult problem we have is because we're doing crowdfunding, and we are selling directly to our customers this way, obviously, but it becomes a difficulty to get it distributed to bookstores and comic shops because of the attitudes that have prevailed for decades, basically, with
Right.
and stuff. And I didn't know, that's why I was asking you if you were going to possibly talk about going to Scout, or which you have done before you did the Kickstarter.
Yeah, I mean, I am open to it, but I don't think that anybody is looking, or at least they're not looking my direction, and that's okay. It's working out fine without having to go to a publisher. My experience personally has been that not that it can't work really good, like, because if you get a publisher, let's say you went with Image or something like that, and your book just sold phenomenally, you're going to make a lot of money, and it's going to be because of that Image connection that they have with comic stores and just the public. The name of Image is going to push your book, or any big thing. Your sales could reflect, and you'll make a good living that way. But the amount of people that actually do, I find, is probably not that many. I mean, there's not very many Jim Lees out there,
Right.
or Frank Millers, or Mike Mignolas, or, you know what I mean? But then there are still a lot of very talented people who want to be able to put their books out, whether or not an editor at a publishing company sees that or not.
Mhm.
Each person sees it, like each of us here on this show, we have something inside of us that we want to put out to an audience and have it seen by people, and hopefully they'll catch the bug, like, oh yeah, I see what you're trying to do. Oh, that's really cool, man. And so everybody's, expressing themselves, and crowdfunding has been a wonderful way to do that.
Right.
But I'm not against the publishing thing either, you know.
Well, no, we were just saying, you know, since we're Kickstarter and Indiegogo crowdfunding in general, not just those two channels, Patreon, there's other channels as well, has been growing exponentially for the last 2 years, at least, maybe 3. It was more of a situation where, like, I often order extra copies of books if I can afford to, so that I can take them to my comic shop locally to try and get them promoted, and they won't carry them. They're like, "Oh, I can't sell that." Well, what do you mean you can't sell it? It's crazy. You know, I don't understand that nonsense. My attitude is more that it's not that they can't sell it; it's that they're afraid to sell it because they're afraid it'll be successful and take away audience from their Marvel DC product. That's my opinion.
Maybe. Well, and also they are taking a risk at comic book stores because they have to buy the book virtually sight unseen. I mean, you do get a little preview.
But I've already bought the copies. It's here, you know.
I see what you're saying, yeah. But then they have to pay for them. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy 30 of these, and I'm going to stock them in my store. And will people in the store buy them? You know, if they could have like maybe a return policy, which I don't like that. But
you're still giving them a discount, the same as if they got from Diamond. They're still going to make money on them. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the only thing we're doing is we're cutting out the middleman, which is Diamond.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And
there's probably a way on crowdfunding. I've been thinking about this, but I haven't come up with anything. A way to offer like one of the perks to retailers, like to where they can get it.
Right. A lot of people do that. Where you can order.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of them just order 6. You can order like 6 or 10 copies at X amount of dollars, discount off, and free shipping or something like that for the retailers. Usually, what I see.
Yeah, that's what I
that
do.
would be. That's what you do.
It's weird. I had a store contact me about this Kickstarter and asked for that kind of like bulk discount, but like on my past ones, I would email and like get some responses like, yeah, we love supporting indie publishers. We'll take a few. But for the most part, I would do a mass email and email individually all these comic shops, and the percentage wise, not many would get back to me. But when back in the day before COVID, when I would go to shows, whatever town I was in, I would stop at their local comic shop and in person be like, hey, I'm a creator. Would you take this? And usually if they see you, they're pretty cool about it. And they're like, yeah, we'll support your book. So like every time I've gone in personally and been like, can I sell you a few of these? They take them. I haven't had anyone say no face to face, but
I've had quite a few. Tell me
of your book or a book?
Other people's books, not just mine, but other people's. I'm talking about Gladstone School for World Conquerors, which I don't know if you've been watching my show or someone to watch the back episodes. I've had Mark Andrew Smith and Armand Villavert on for Gladstones and all their spinoff series titles. Yeah, they got nothing because we bought their stuff for Image and it didn't sell. I'm like, dude, I was here when they were solicited through Image and you didn't order any. Don't hand me no crap.
Yeah,
you didn't even try. Let's see. Jason McNamara's book that just came out. The commissions.
Oh yeah, that's a great book.
Yeah, I've tried to market stuff. They'll market the local talent, maybe, is what I've seen.
Yeah, I do get a lot of good luck with like local shops who are like, I'm from here, and they do love hearing that. So I haven't gone well beyond that. So maybe you're right about that.
Yeah. Nighthawk says comics shops so comics evolve, but why not indie comics? Image Comics is indie comics. No, Image really isn't indie comics anymore. They're their own corporation. They just happen to be a different type of corporation than Marvel or DC. They're not
true indie. I know. I get what you mean.
They never were. To be true, I hate to say this, but to be true indie, you cannot be multimillionaires with a budget to compete against the big two. Truly indie, you're scripting and scraping and fighting every inch of the way to get everything you get in this business. And I'm not saying that the guys at Image, when they started, didn't earn the money they earned at Marvel. They did. But, imagine what any one of us could have done if we had McFarlane's bank account to start with.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's what I say there. The other thing with images, they do a lot of talent rating of other companies to bring them to Image rather than going and getting truly independent creators to bring into the company, from what I've seen over the years.
Yeah.
When did Titan go through Image at all, Gary? I thought you mentioned
No, I did one issue of Packin's Land that went through Image.
Yeah. And that was mostly due to your connection with Gary and his connection to Todd, right?
No, I talked with Image myself.
Oh, okay.
And,
all right.
I was thinking. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I made a wrongful assumption there because so many Caliber books went over to Image.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about that.
They Caliber went through a really bad time when they basically closed shop. And I'm sure you know about it more than I do. But and that's where Packin's Land stopped being published by Caliber. I just kind of got a call one day from Gary Reed. Unfortunately, he's passed away now, but back then, and he felt really bad about it. He wasn't able even to pay me for past books that we had sold, and I was like, dude, this ain't cool. And he's like, I'm sorry, it's dried up. And so I went to Image and talked with, is it Valentino? Is that his name?
Jim.
Yeah, Jim Valentino. Yeah.
I talked with him. He was really nice.
Yeah, I think your Titan Mouse and Mike Kickstarter instead of your Indiegogo campaign. Is that where we buy the Kickstarter? The stuff now is from your Indiegogo campaign instead, or
it's in demand on Indiegogo.
Okay.
I ran it on both. The Indiegogo did far better.
Okay.
And right now I do have my latest sketchbook on Kickstarter.
Right. That's why I had. That's why I had both of them linked to Kickstarter on my page here, because I was going to show your other book as well here. Yeah. So yes, the Titan Kickstarter has ended already, but you can still get it on Indiegogo. What's the? Can you tell me what the Indiegogo address is, real quick? I'll post it up.
Sure. Let me grab this link here. I'll put it in the private chat here on.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, there it is.
Hopefully this will work. Let's see here. And let's try it on banners too while we're at it. There you go. That's the not Titan on Indiegogo. I added that at the end, but the https igg.me/@TitanMouseX and the numbers is his page link to the Indiegogo page there, Nighthawk. And Captain Hiltz is here. What up? Party's here. Yes. Okay. Did you bring the booze? No. But no. Yeah, we've been doing a lot of different things with that. Speaking of which, here, let me. What did you order from Gary there, Nighthawk? Because you said you already ordered the deluxe edition. I just wondered what did you back? What level did you back on?
Does Nighthawk have a deluxe edition already?
He said he's waiting for his.
Right.
So I just wanted to know
what it's mailed out. So
yeah, I just wondered what all he ordered. Because I'm going to take everybody else off the screen for just a second here. I have my copy here of hardcover edition. As you can see, it's signed by Gary, and Rhoda, his wife. And it came with a patch, which I have to get a baseball cap to sew that onto. A sticker. A nice, very thick, double-sided bookmark. 3 signed postcards, which are the covers to the original single issues. And then there's 3 more bookmarkers that came in with mine. I gotta put them together here. When you put them together, they form the same image as the cover, only in black and white.
Yeah, and those bookmarks were on the other side of it. For the we did a fan art contest, and
Right.
those it was a 3-way tie, and so we made bookmarks of all 3 of them.
I hadn't quite gotten around flipping them over yet there, but one was by Jimmy Ramirez, Jimmy Ramirez art, and then Chris Winter, Chris Winter, Chris, and then Captain Hiltz.
Yeah, he's in the house.
Yep. And there's our friend Mark Andrew Smith from Gladstones, who says Titan is crushing it, and yes, he is.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, I'm working on the next part of it, phase 2. Right now I'm calling it phase 2 just because it was getting confusing because I had all these, I had the floppies, which I have issue 1, 2, and 3. And then I have the hardcover that collects all 3 of these. And then I have a deluxe hardcover, which has basically like I call it the Book of Secrets in the back. And it basically it's like a 160-page book here. And in the back, it basically goes, my working process is in here.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to do this. I think I'm going to do this from now on. I love this part of the book so much. It shows like my pencils to the like finished page and thoughts, changes that I would make, things like that. It's really fun. So if anybody's going to get it, get the deluxe edition. You won't be disappointed. It's a good book.
Phase 2 is issues 4 through 6.
Yeah, it'll probably be that. Right now, I'm at the very beginning of it. I have a pre-launch page, which I could give a link to if you want that. If people want to sign up on Indiegogo, and I'll drop that in the thing there. There it is. So that's a pre-launch page. If people want to sign up for the next part of Titan, if you want to be notified with updates and when it launches, that would be really cool.
And that's the phase 2 coming soon. 1. Now, I know that Gary's been drawing in the background almost the entire time. And I know people are probably wondering why I haven't focused and shown more of him while he was drawing. I was trying to get the camera to focus on his only as the lead. And for some reason, I couldn't make the program do that. And I apologize for that. But for those who want to see a little bit closer look at Gary's art here. Whoop. There we go. This is where
that's beautiful. That looks awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I see a lot of Frank Miller and Art Adams in this stuff.
Oh yeah, I love Well, when I first started out, probably the first person that were like flipped that switch that I wanted to be an artist was John Byrne.
Yeah.
And I just loved his X-Men stuff. Oh, so good with Terry Austin. Still love it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I started learning to draw myself, I found I went to a creation con in I think it was in San Francisco, and I saw this guy had a table. It was Arthur Adams, and he was working, or he just started working on Long Shot, and I was just blown away by his work. And I thought, this dude is the next John Byrne. You know, he's gonna just crush it. And I would go to comic book conventions all along the coast there, and find Arthur Adams, and I'd hang out with him. I don't know that he even remembers me, but I remember him. And I used to go to the shows, and I would just hang out in the artist alley and just watch him draw, show him my artwork. He was always really nice to me. Mike Mignola was there too.
As
And,
you can see, he gets swallowed by a cat, and he stabs the cat's inside of his mouth to get out.
yeah. Yeah, and then other than Arthur Adams, yeah, Frank Miller. Love Frank Miller's work, like on Daredevil and Dark Knight. It's like the best stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very much heavily influenced by all those guys. You know, I could go down a list of people that are influencing me. That would take all day, probably.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I was a Byrne Perez guy when I started.
Oh, I love George Perez too. Yeah.
In fact, if you look at my artwork, well, let me see if I can grab some real quick here. Silly. There we go. Tell me that you don't see Byrne Perez in that.
Oh yeah.
That gives you an idea how I do things. Well, actually, I should leave that up a little bit more. Sorry, but I'll show you some of the other pages from that series I'm working on. And this is from Blake and Terror Intergalactic Thieves, which is not ready for solicitation yet. But yeah. But yeah, that's the kind of thing I was too. And then, you know, like you say, Art Adams gets in there. And as you get older, you start discovering more and more people.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, who are some of your favorite artists, Jake?
Well,
Trad.
Trad Moore is a big one. Do you know Trad?
Yeah.
I love Trad. I love James Herron's a big one. Mignola. I had a huge phase in like middle school where I was just copying Mignola basically, and then Andrew McLean is a big one right now. Again, the list goes. It's almost like there's so many that. Oh, Tony Moore. I love Tony Moore's stuff. Fear Agent is one of my favorite comics. I've got a lot. Frank Miller, of course. You know. Who else? There's so many. Do you know Stuart Immonen? I think how you say his last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that guy. Yeah, I love. Yeah. Arthur Adams is great. And Art Adams, both.
Yeah. Nighthawk. You mentioned that you were doing comics yourself over in the chat. Go ahead and send me a link to your artwork, and I'll probably have you on as a guest if you have a camera for that in a future episode. Okay. Mm-hmm. And of course, there's the Get to Do It special, which is another Titan version with a metal trading card for $5.
The Do It special actually is a perk that gives you the deluxe edition, which is 160 pages. but it also gives you a print that I did just for that perk. I have the print here somewhere. And anybody who backs, this is the print.
That cover, that's awesome. I love that.
Thank you. Anybody who backs the print, you're automatically entered to win the original art.
Oh, wow.
For that.
Yeah.
I have somewhere. Well, I had it somewhere. Oh, here it is. With print, yeah. So the original art was done on 11 by 17, so it's basically like a cover piece.
Normal comic page, basically.
Yeah.
Full size comic. Is that on 300-pound Bristol or?
It's I guess it's Strathmore, that comic page stuff you can see.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna give that to one of the backers of the Do It special.
Awesome.
So you'll get the print and you'll be entered to win. One of you guys will. And it was limited to 50, and I think the last time I checked there was like 8 left. I could double check.
That's a good perk. Gives you ideas, doesn't it, Jake?
I know. I'm like, that's a good idea. I'm taking notes from Bob too. All the stuff he said, and I'm like, those are good incentives.
Yeah, so that's that.
Yeah, awesome.
Here's another page I'm working on. This is phase 2.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
that's well, I don't want to spoil stuff for Nighthawk, who hasn't really seen the book.
Yeah, no spoilers, no spoilers.
Yeah.
Although that's a spoiler, so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, everything's a spoiler, you know. I really did love the book. Like I said, I'm familiar with Packin's Land from when you were at Caliber, due to my experience with Caliber, and I was like, oh, I know who this is. Let me check this out. And I'm like, yeah, I have to get this, you know.
Nice.
And then when I got it, I was like, oh wow, your style has evolved so much from the Packin's Land stuff to begin with. Yeah. And maybe that's why you had the conversation you did with Scout, the way what they said. But you know, like I said, I just saw a huge. The way you're inking with the brush is very Miller-esque.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at your pencils and I can see the Mignola and the Adams influence.
Yeah.
And it's just it's an interesting dichotomy between the two styles, inking and penciling. I mean, like you said, you're a big fan of the Austin era when Austin was inking Byrne and Perez and those guys. I can only imagine if you inked like Austin back when Austin was at his prime, what this would look like too. It'd be a completely different looking book.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my favorite inker is Klaus Janson. I love the way he inks. He has a real gritty style, and I even like his pencil stuff and his page compositing and all that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes, Klaus is very
good.
Let's see. We got Humphrey Bear and Nighthawk. They got some different books as well. I've heard of their books, to be honest. And what's your book called, Nighthawk? Like I said, you guys, you're new to the show, and you're also new to me. So it'd be like really cool if you could go ahead and like hit the subscribe button, because I try to always have guests every week on the show, new people. I'm always trying to share and explore the independent scene of comics, so that we see all the stuff that really isn't always available in comic shops.
Oh yeah, definitely. Some of the best stuff that I've found recently has been on Kickstarter.
Yeah. Well, whether it's Kickstarter, Patreon,
or
any of them.
Outside of the big companies.
Outside of Diamond, basically, the Diamond market. Everybody says the Diamond market is the comics industry. And I'm like, no, it's more like 10% of what comics actually is. And when you think about that and how big the Diamond market is, and then there's all the stuff that's not explored and not shown and not marketed, that's kind of what my show is about, is trying to get people out there so people know what they're seeing and, you know, what we're missing.
Yeah. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And so Hiram, you are the graphics specialist, video specialist, and co-writer for
That's correct.
for this book, for your book, not for Titan. That would be the Blood Force Trauma book that we talked about a little bit before.
Yes, sir.
How did you two meet?
Oh, we met at SCAD. Jake and I, we met at Savannah College of Art and Design freshman year.
Okay, what year was that?
Well, what year? Oh, freshman year. What year? 2013?
Yeah, 2013.
Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah.
You guys are pups.
We're young folk.
We're youngins.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can remember going down to SCAD in 07 to teach.
Oh wow! Did you teach at SCAD?
No, I didn't. But
Oh.
I interviewed to teach there.
Oh, okay, I got
man, that would have been great.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you know anybody that were teachers? Did you know Tom Lyle?
Yeah, I knew Tom. I knew Tom, and I knew, oh shoot, the guy who was the head of the department. I can't think of his name. David something maybe.
Was he a professor also?
I think so.
David. Did you know Mark Neese?
I knew of him.
Okay. Did the last name start with a G?
Maybe.
Okay. I think I know who he is. I can't think of his name right now.
Yeah. Blood Force Trauma looks cool. It looks gonzo and like everything in the kitchen sink.
Oh yeah, it's all our favorite stuff just kind of mashed together.
And Mark asks you, where are you located?
I am
in Texas.
Oh yeah, I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. I just moved from Tennessee. I've lived in Tennessee most of my life, but we just moved here because there's a lot of cool comics people here. And then Hiram is over in Maryland. He's close to DC.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Look at that lovely, beautiful close-up inking work that he's doing with that brush over there.
I know, that's so pretty. That's such a good thing to have to look at while you're listening to whatever.
It's very therapeutic. It's like I should do this for hours, or just look at a guy draw for hours.
It's really nice.
See, when I do this, my hand's in the way, and then, like I said, after 10 or 15 minutes, people are bored. They go away.
Yeah.
What it is he's got the camera over directly above, so his hand in the way you can actually see the artwork. That's part of it. Yeah. So, and
he holds the pen so beautifully.
Yeah.
I have a claw grip, and I just cover up the whole page.
When you say a claw grip, what do? You have the Eric Larson grip?
No, not that bad. Not that cool.
We should all have something to draw, to keep up the interest while we talk, but hold the pencil in different ways.
Yeah,
you mean like this?
Oh yeah. I don't do that, but
that's what he does.
Yeah, he's nuts. Trad holds his really weird too. Trad's got his between his pinky, and then he's got a big welt on his pinky because he draws so much, and he presses it so hard.
Yeah, B. Claymore and Jeremy Hahn, I guess, are in your area, Jake.
Yeah, and Kyle Strom is here. Scotty Young is here. Richard Corbin's here somewhere. No one knows where he lives exactly. He's a recluse. The great Richard Corbin. The
thing about Richard, I think, is he's old. He's so old school. He's been around for so long that it's not so much he's a recluse. I don't think he necessarily associates with the younger generation as well.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. But he's awesome. I love.
Yeah, Corbin's awesome, but I wouldn't say he's a recluse. I don't know. It's weird. You want to talk about a recluse? You talk about me. I think most people think I'm a recluse.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah. Okay. Gary will be right back. I don't know if John's in the room or not. if John Norris is still in the room. I've been here in Columbia, South Carolina since 07.
Oh, nice.
And I've got John, Tracy Hollingsworth, and maybe 2 or 3 other people that I actually see at any given time. The rest of the people was like nobody. Even though the rest, we got tons of local comic creators here. I never see them unless we're at a show.
Oh, well, yeah, because the nature of the job is everyone just stays home. Because we're like, I personally got into doing comics because I am more introverted. So I'm like, well, I love to have a job where I just stay home and draw all day. And so everyone, does that. So you don't see anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's part of it. I think also what's part of it is, before I lived in Columbia, I lived out in the desert in Nevada. There was nobody around for literally 100 miles in any direction.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, oh, crap. And of course, John's lived in Columbia his whole life since 75. But, no, what I was getting at, John, was you can confirm I don't do anything. I'm at home all the time. Actually, if you guys, I noticed at the beginning of the show, Jake, you were bobbing your head up and down to my theme music.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I messaged Hiram. I was like, "This music, man, it's good."
You can thank John for that.
Oh, well, thank you, John.
He's my music director.
I was vibing out to it. I liked it.
It's called. It's actually a remix of an open track called Cthulhu Morsum or something like that. It's in my closing credits. So if you
nice.
You'll
get to hear it again. Yes.
Yeah. But it's awesome stuff here. What do I mean by recluse? Well, in my case, both my parents suffered heart attacks, and I'm also at home a lot because I have to take care of them all the time. Unfortunately, my mother passed away a while back, but I'm still taking care of my father. But back when I lived in Nevada, even before they were sick, there just wasn't anybody around to go really do anything with. I mean, it was 20 miles to town, and town was basically a little like 7-Eleven convenience store with a post office box section. And then you go another 40 miles, and there's a gas station. And then you go another 60 miles before you get to the outskirts of Vegas. So it's like, I don't know why my parents picked out that, but that's because my dad's kind of like a hermit anyway. But I kind of got stuck with them when they got sick. He said he didn't write the music; he edited it. Correct.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I said. He edited the track that I gave him, so that would work for the show, so that the people wouldn't go, "Hey, strike one."
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine, Nighthawk. It's a long time ago, and my mother was very, very ill, and it was better that she left us. She was in really bad way for a long time. Both heart and kidneys were failing at the same time. And if you treat the heart, you screw up the kidneys. If you treat the kidneys, you screw up the heart. And she was just in agony. So we were just like, yeah. When she finally let go, we were kind of. It was sad, but we were all relieved in a way too. So, because she was out of pain, in a better place. But that was a long time ago, actually. That was like, geez, I want to say 13 when she finally passed. But she had the heart attack in 2000 that caused that mess. So you can imagine how long I was
Sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough.
But it is what it is, though. But that's part of why I became a recluse, was that sort of situation where I just didn't have the opportunity to be around others. And then when I moved here to Columbia, as John can attest to, I was still taking care of them most of the time. I've gotten out more since my mother's passed away because my dad's not that bad. He's still disabled, but he's functional. He just doesn't like people. He doesn't like to go anywhere. It's funny because when I go to conventions, he comes with me, and everybody thinks he's Stan Lee. because he has the big dark sunglasses like Stan used to wear.
Oh wow!
And people think he's like cosplaying cowboy version of Stan, because my dad wears Western clothes all the time, boots and jeans and, you know, a cowboy type shirt and hat. And he's in a wheelchair doing his crossword puzzle, sitting at my table, and everybody's like, "It's Stan Lee sitting at his table."
That's crazy.
And my dad's just like, "Leave me alone. I just want to do my crossword puzzle." I don't want you to take my photo. Because they all want to take photos with him. These kids. And I'm like, why? I don't see why people think he looks like that, but it's funny. Because other people see it. They see where he looks like Stan. I don't see it, but you know, that's me. I'm around him all the time, so of course I don't. It's different, you know. What are you inking with there, Gary?
The kind of brush, or
Yeah,
just brush?
just the brush.
I'm using a brush. It is a. Oh wait, I can just show you right there.
It's a sable, but what number is it? That's what I was trying to figure out.
It is a number 2
Oh, okay.
Art Russian sable mini liner.
Okay. Cool.
And I have this one too, which is really good.
All right. That one you need to put a little bit closer to the screen. Okay, that's a Lowell Cornell brush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 4. Ultra round.
How disappointed are those people when they quickly realize your dad isn't Stan Lee? They aren't so much disappointed. They still want to take a picture with him, though. It's like, because they think he's just cosplaying as Stan Lee if he's not Stan Lee. And it's like, no, he's not cosplaying. He's just sitting there minding his own business. But, you know, it's funny, though. That's why a lot of times when we go to the shows now, he tries to stay out of the room where the artist alley is and go elsewhere. he might drive in his wheelchair scooter a few times during the show to say, "Hey, do you need anything?" But most of the time, he will not be by my table anymore because he doesn't want to be bothered. But yeah, I mean, I think it's hilarious myself, because it's like, yeah, I'm going to be sitting there with Stan Lee at my table. You know, don't you think other people here would have Stan Lee at their table instead of me? You know? But yeah, he is popular for some reason. Yeah, people are all, when my dad's not there, I ask him, "Oh, where's your dad? You know, why isn't he here?" But you know, it's like, it doesn't matter why he's not here. Now buy a sketch, buy a pinup, buy a something. I'm here. I'm the one you're supposed to care about. But yeah, I think that's another thing. My mother was alive. She would do the shows with me as well, and she would be in her scooter and she'd go around promoting me, I think, because I used to do a lot better when she was alive at the shows. But it's so hard because you're stuck behind your table. You don't get to really interact as much. You know.
Oh yeah.
You only get to call people to your table if they're paying attention to you. Otherwise, you're considered rude and annoying. You know, never mind if there's people out there blasting their stereos and yip-yapping on megaphones. If you call them over to your table, you're being rude. And I've never understood that, but it is what they do. Is that a close-up of his? Yeah, that's a close-up of the mask. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was just looking at it, you know, from a different angle, and then I realized what it was. That's all. He's got the confusion bubbles going on there. Okay. Are comic conventions any good for indie comic artists? Some are, some aren't. It's always a mixed bag. I've done shows where I've done very well. And I've had shows where I've done, why am I here? I should go home already, but yeah. I don't know. What's the worst day you guys have had at a show?
There was one show I did in Philadelphia called the Great Philadelphia Comic-Con, and when we showed up, it was in like some creepy like warehouse thing, and I was like, oh, like right away I was there with my friend, and I was like, oh no, this one's not going to go well. And we went in, and I didn't sell a single thing all day, and it was dingy and kind of weird, and I was like, I don't like this. So I had like a 3-day table, and I was like, let's just leave, and we just didn't come back because it was just it wasn't very good.
That
happens, you know.
Yeah, that does happen, unfortunately. I think the worst one I did, I was well. How much money do you think you lost on that show?
Well, for the table, it was like $250. So I flew to Philly, but I had a good time with my friends, so I made it into something fun. But I was like, I lost quite a bit just on the table and the plane ticket, you know.
Because as John can attest, we drove down to Myrtle Beach, and the year prior, I had done a show it was called X-Con, and it was at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And the year prior, I had done like $800 profit, $850 profit. And that's after my expenses of a hotel, the table, paying for meals for both myself and my parents, all that stuff included. I came out like $838 in the black. The next year, my parents didn't really want to go down there. And John has one of his parents, I think it's his mother and his stepfather, have a place down there. So we went together, the two of us, and I stayed there. We stayed there instead of having to pay hotel. So I didn't have that expense, and I didn't have the food expense because we split our own bills on that. And I came out -47 for the show.
Ooh, oh, okay.
Isn't that crazy?
That sucks.
It's the exact same show. And it's like, what happened? Everybody just marched around and cosplayed the second year. Nobody bought anything.
Oh yeah. I did Heroes one year, and it's so funny. I was doing a panel with Eric Powell for his Albatross book, and we did the panel, and we're all up there, and no one came in because they were having a cosplay contest in the one next door. So everyone went to that, and we were like answering questions to no one, and we were like, let's just leave.
Yeah, or just have a conversation with yourselves.
Yeah, which was much more fun anyway. So
yeah. I've had that situation. There's been other situations where they wanted to stick you back in a cubicle somewhere way back, where you're never going to be found. I'm like, no, you can give me back my money. I'll go home.
Yeah.
That sort of thing goes on all the time, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, it just depends. And one thing I can say is, while you always want to promote your own material, you've got material of your own to promote as an indie creator. If you want to get people to buy your stuff, show that you can draw anything. I'm the guy that sits there and goes, "Oh, Jim Lee is too busy to draw you a Batman, and he's got 60 million people wanting a signature. Okay, here you go. Here's Batman and Jim Lee stuff by me. $10, whatever. And then they go, oh wow, he can draw like that. Yeah, I can also draw like all these other people too. And that's what I end up doing a lot of times. And that's what usually gets people's attention, is that I can do that. But John is he doesn't work in comics. He's just a friend of mine, but he's also the music producer for who did the opening theme music to the show. He edited the track that I used. He is also he used to do a column about comics for kids on a program called Comics in the Classroom too, a while ago. But, I forget, John. What is it you do for a living? I forget. I mean, I know. I can't think of the phrase, the terminology. claims analyst. Yeah, he's also a musician, and he plays for church and community theaters, right? And when he says a claims analyst, he's talking about insurance claims for medical care and stuff like that. And yeah, he does. He plays piano and is it viola or violin, John? But yeah, man, just look at that stuff. Whew.
That looks incredible. Hey, I don't want to be rude or unprofessional, but it's getting a little late, and I think Jake and I have to split for.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, we'd love to. Thanks for having us on, though.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
No, you're doing good. You're doing great, and you know, I'm glad your show has been, or your book rather, has been funded, and we're gonna go ahead and show that again real quick if I can get it to come back up.
And we loved watching Gary. We loved watching you draw. It was amazing. Your book looks fantastic.
It's like magic. It's absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
Okay, just give me one more second here. I'm gonna share.
Oh, no problem. And we got a simple link too. I can put that in the chat. It's bftcomic.com.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
There it is. And you said bftcomic.com?
Yes, sir. It's got, I think, 19 more days left, or 18, 19, something like that. But for you guys to get T-shirts and comics, and if you guys are into video games and
17 days
fun comics, go for it. Yeah, 17 days. I think you guys will like it.
Yeah. Yep, I backed this, and I'm getting the book and a T-shirt.
Now, which one do you like? Which one do you think you'll pick?
I haven't really made up my mind yet.
Oh, really? Okay. You should show those.
I'm looking for them.
Yeah, they're down. I put so much on this page. There's a Thrash and Meat Grinder fighting.
Yeah.
That's
the cover for number 3 and number 4.
Yeah.
And number 5.
I know. I got too excited about those covers. That's 6. And then that's 12. Because I was like, I just want to show. I just got really excited about it.
Those are the pinups.
Yeah, I got some great ones. That's Kyle Strom. Aaron Conley did one.
And we got some. We got a few more coming in. That's going to be that's going to be great.
Oh yeah.
Those are the posters. Where is the shirts? Here
it's down there. There you go.
Uh,
We got those 3, and then I added that one later because I made that one real quick, and I thought it was cool. And I was like, oh, people like this one.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with the black one.
Okay, yeah, sweet. I like that one.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to make up my mind if I want the black one or the white one.
If you like the white one, we're going to do it in black because Hiram's girlfriend wants it in black. So I was like, why not? So we're going to have an option. You can I think we're going to do it where you can make it long sleeve or short sleeve or whatever too.
When you say you're going to do it in black, you mean the pink over black or black and then the white?
Pink over black.
Ugh.
I mean, you don't have to do it. She just wanted to do it. So we were like, why not have the option?
Well, you could have the option, I guess, but I just don't know if that would work as well on black.
It's up to you, man. You don't have to get the shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's cool.
She just wants it. And I was like, yeah, we'll do that for you. I like it in white, but if someone wants to do it, that's up to them,
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to think of how it would print. That's all.
Okay.
It's not that the image doesn't look good. The image looks good. I'm trying to think of the printing dynamics.
Yeah.
How that would look, and then on a black shirt, because I'm not sure if you would lose some of the detail on a black shirt.
Oh yeah, maybe.
That's what I was getting at.
What might look cool, I'll have to fiddle around with it. What might look cool, and I could totally do it, is make a black shirt and maybe the line art is white and it's like negative. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like I said, you have to work on it and see what's what. You know, if you can make something that looks good and everybody's happy, that's what matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool. But yeah, so yeah, you can go to bftcomic.com for more information on that, or go to the Kickstarter page.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Louis. We had a good time. That was great.
And hold on a second. Watch Gary's YouTube channel if you ever get the chance. Yes, he does have a great live stream chat. And I guess they're wrenches for Gary's. Okay. Do you paint? Yeah, it would pink. It would be pink on. He asked the same question: would pink print well on the black fabric? Yeah, I don't know. They'll have to look and experiment on that. But we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, if they can do it, test it. Test it before you offer it is what I would suggest. See if you can find out ahead of time.
Okay.
Good idea. And John says he plays piano and viola and sings.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, it kind of gets the chat on when it comes up on StreamYard. It gets mixed up compared sometimes. It gets weird delays sometimes.
Well, that was great. Thank you. I think we're gonna head out if that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's cool. We're gonna focus on Gary.
All right. Yeah. Have a good show, guys. Thanks for having us on.
Yes.
Take
thanks.
care.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep. Whoop. And wow, now we got a really close tight here thing. Let me see if we can do it that way. There we go. All right. Humphrey Bear asked you about Titan t-shirts.
Yeah, there's Titan t-shirts on the campaign. One of the perks. I actually found a new person to do it, and so the original shirts were a lot more of it. Now they're cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I have mouse pads. I have mugs. I have t-shirts. Yeah.
Where would those be found at to buy?
They're in the Indiegogo campaign on the Titan Mouse of Might.
Okay.
And they're just, you scroll down on the perks.
Okay.
And you'll see like a mouse pad, a mug, and then a t-shirt.
Okay. We'll have to definitely look at that real quick. Let me see if I can look that up real quick here. My computer's being fussy. Yeah. It's not there. All right. I don't know why it's doing that. Alrighty, here we go. Now I can share both of the proper streams here. This is the Indiegogo page that Gary has.
Yeah.
And this has a forward by Doug Tenaple. Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, Doug Tenaple did the forward. He did it. It was really, really nice of him to do that.
Yeah. I'm going to, hold on, let me get that banner out of there. And let me put a different banner in here. There we go. Whoop. What just happened there? Oh, it's being silly. Okay. Let me go ahead and put that. All right. You're in Zion. Is that Zion, Illinois?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I used to live by Lake Villa. Do you know where that's at?
I've heard of it, but I don't know where it is.
Okay. How about Gray's Lake?
Yeah, Grays
Okay.
Lake.
Lake Villa was like maybe 20 minutes north of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I lived in the 80s.
Okay. It seems like in this area, I'm from California originally, but
Mhm.
in this area of Illinois, it seems like the towns are so, there's so many. And in California, it was like there was more space between cities or something. I don't know what it was. It didn't feel like they were so compacted, but out here, it's just like you go a couple of minutes in your car and you're in another town or another something.
Well,
So it's kind of confusing to me.
part of it was the farmer land in Illinois, where they did it that way, I think, comparative.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's an interesting, because I remember having to play Zion. We played against them for school sports and stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, I know where that's at.
Yeah.
He's asking if you'll do different Titan shirts for the next campaign.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, cool. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick here at this campaign. And this is the part of the Do It special that was talked about with the earlier in the show.
Yeah, the first one there is the featured. Anybody who backs that particular perk, we're going to take the names and put the backer numbers like in a bowl or something. I'll do it on a live stream, and then we'll draw from that bowl right on stream so you can see that it's legit, and the backer number will be revealed, and that person will get the original artwork for this print that you see on screen.
And then you can see here's the mouse pad over here.
Yeah, I have a mouse pad I'm working on right here.
And the mugs.
And I have a mug I drink out of quite frequently.
Yeah. So basically you can order that stuff separately or in addition.
Yeah, the way the difference between, this is one of the difference between Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Kickstarter, the way it works is that you have, like if you buy the first perk, you can upgrade to the next perk, and
right.
so on and so on. The way Indiegogo works is that you could buy any perk you want, and you can come back as many times as you want. Kickstarter only allows you to back it one time, but you can upgrade.
Okay.
So it's a little bit unusual, and I'm not really used to the Kickstarter way of doing it, and so you have to even set your campaign up a certain way. Like you have to build, like the first perk, it's just like one comic. The next perk would be a comic with a signature. The next perk would be a comic with a signature with a button. You know what I mean? And you have to keep upgrading it so that people will choose which one they want to do.
Okay, well that's why. See, this is something no one's ever mentioned to me before. Almost everybody I know has done Kickstarter. Very few people have done Indiegogos, and a part of it, like I said, is because Indiegogo has that sort of negative context because of Ethan Van Sciver and his click group, basically.
Right.
And I think it's a shame. It's not, and even those guys aren't necessarily bad artists. It's just some of the negativity of how they've chosen to express themselves in public about the way the industry has gone. So,
Right.
I understand their frustration. I'm just as frustrated in my own ways, but it's in a lot of ways I look at them and go, what are you complaining about? Because you've been successful at Marvel and DC for years, and now you're not the favored son, so now you're going to bitch. Pardon my language, but
I think what it is too is that you have to almost, or at least this is what I've kind of gleaned from all of it, is that people like in that camp, they are using it as a marketing tool. Like when you have the drama, you can sell books. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, whatever, if that's the way people want to sell books, I guess it's America, you can do what you want. But I'd rather just draw. I mean, I'm friends with some of those people, you know, and but I'm also friends with other people too. I mean,
Exactly.
I have no problem with Ethan Van Sciver, and I have no problem with Doug TeNapel, but the two of them don't like each other.
Right.
You know, it's like, okay, I don't know what's going on, but maybe they can sell books that way.
Yeah,
so, you know, I don't know. I don't know, man.
John just said he backed your Do It perk.
Oh, thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. So you will be entered to win the original art. And as soon as all of those are sold, we only have 7 left now, since John bought that one. So once the other 7 sell, I'll do a drawing on my channel.
Right.
I'm gonna wait for those 7 to sell before I do
Your
it.
channel on Facebook, right?
I'm sorry, yes, on my YouTube channel, which is Mr. G-Ship.
Okay. Your YouTube channel. I've only seen you on Facebook.
Oh yeah, I stream. I multi kind of stream. I go from YouTube to Facebook to what's the other one? Twitch.
Okay.
And then there's
It says hello or hi. I guess you just stepped in.
Hello, Lady Vixen.
Yeah. Crazy. Since the other gentlemen have left, we're going to go straight into our questions for the week that I got. I don't know. Maybe you'll have some insight on interest in answering some of these questions. But we'll go ahead and well, first, actually, we're not going to do that. We're going to go back to your campaign. Let's see. Okay, I got the regular hardcover, which is fine.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that. I'm probably not going to buy the do it perk, not because it's not an excellent idea or anything. I love that idea, but more that I'd rather let someone else have the opportunity to get that to win the original art, I think.
Right.
And since I've already got the other stuff, you know, if I hadn't already backed it and bought the other and received it, I would probably buy to do it. But, you know, I think it's fair. There's a Titan T-shirt. That's the logo with him in the A. That's interesting.
Yes. And we'll probably work on some new designs for the next campaign.
Yeah. Like I said, I really do love that patch.
Yeah, great. That's the first time I've ever done a patch.
Yeah.
And I was really, we had to scrap the first idea. We had this, it was more elaborate. It had Titan like jumping at the screen or whatever.
That's patch was like,
yeah, and so they came back and they stitched it up and everything. They made a mock-up and it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
And we're gonna have to simplify this. And so in the deluxe edition, it shows the 2 patches. You know, the first one, and then what we ended up going with.
The only flaw, and it's something for you to think about in the future if you do more patches, is you might get the iron-on gluing on the back.
Yeah, well, I asked people on my channel because I don't know patches, but then after we got them, my daughter said, well, how are you supposed to put this on something? And I'm like, I don't know. But I asked people in my stream, I said, how do I do this patch? You guys are patch people, those of you that are. How do you like your patch? And then they said no glue was the thing. So maybe next time we will do glue.
Yeah.
We should be able to iron it on then.
Yeah.
I don't know how people put patches on things. It would usually be with glue, right? Like iron on.
There's usually an iron glue on the back, or they just stitch it on, you know, with by hand. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is what I'm going to probably do with this one when I get a hat for it. I just have to find the hat. Yeah. Did you really model the Titan T-shirt that's on there? Because Captain Hilt said, Captain Hilt says that you modeled the T-shirt.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I would love to take credit, but no.
Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I had the physique for that too. Don't anymore. I used to.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, we aren't young anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, I really have enjoyed that this series. Okay, that's the white one has the Doug TenNapel forward. Okay.
Actually, that's just a placeholder.
Okay.
The actual cover is the gray cover,
Okay.
or bluish gray that you can
All
see there with the lady.
All right. See,
Yeah, when I
missed the Packins omnibus. How much do you want for the omnibus by itself?
is there a perk in there for it by itself?
I don't see it.
I thought I had one in there, but let me double check.
I might have missed it.
Let's see. It doesn't look like I do.
Yeah, I don't see it.
So I think they're going for $50.
Okay.
I may have a perk that maybe it got turned off because I was going through my campaign and cleaning it up. You can turn on and off perks.
Dad bots confirmed. Yeah, definitely. Not even really a dad bot. I'm just. I became diabetic a couple years ago, and that's what my problem is. If I can ever get my metabolism straightened out, I can hopefully start shedding weight again. Okay. Yeah, all of you guys that have mentioned your comics in the chat, you're all new to me, like I said. So by all means, email me at this address, quothravenlbr72@gmail.com, and tell me about your book. Send me a link to you, if it's online somewhere, or send me some samples of your work. I'd like to hear from you guys, and we'll see about bringing you on the show in a future edition. If you guys have cameras and can do StreamYard as well. Lady Vixen says, if you add the option for the Pack and Lands omnibus by itself, will it be in paperback or hardback?
I'm looking through the campaign right now, and I see that I did hide it because I did have a perk with just the Packins on Omnibus, but it was coming with a print. The problem with that is the print was too big. The print was 11 by 17, and the Omnibus isn't that big.
Right.
So to ship them, I'd have to ship them separately, and so I removed the perk. I can offer both of them. I can go in the campaign right now or after the show or whatever, and I can put in a soft cover and a hard cover by themselves. If anybody's interested, they can go pick that up. Also, they are available.
I'll be interested because
Amazon.
Well, I'd rather buy it from you direct than have Amazon, because again, Amazon gets their cut and you get less.
Right. Yeah.
And, with Amazon's stuff, you never know when you're going to get your book either.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas with you, when you ship something, you let people know when it's shipped. You probably give them the tracking number too. So, we at least know where it's supposed to be while we're waiting for it, right?
Right. Yeah. I'll put this perk back up here immediately.
Go ahead and okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the questions that they
Sure.
this
And I
week.
can answer any question if they're for me
Yeah.
as well.
Let's see. They're probably not. They're probably just general questions, but that's let's see what they come up with. First question of the night has to do with the big topic of the week or so, last week or so, with the chaos coming out of the Time Warner offices and how that's affected DC Comics. Do you have any thoughts on the matter? The person who asked me knows I've never worked for DC because of my past history with Bob Harris, who is seemingly departing from the company. Whether that or he wants to know if that's going to change my views, or will I or others who might not have liked the current editorial group be interested in working with DC in the future. I don't know what your experience is with Marvel or DC. So my quick answer, Michael, is because Michael will watch after the show's over. My quick answer's wait and see who's replacing whom and what the direction of the company is. And I'll wait until like the first of the year to see where things are going. And if I see something, then I'm certainly not going to just close the door and say no, like I have in the past, because it's a new regime. They don't have the same stigma. Give someone new a chance. Don't just shut them out because of what somebody else did to you in the past. How do you feel about that sort of thing?
I don't have anything about working or not working with Marvel or DC.
Yeah.
I've done some stuff indirectly. Like I've done some limited edition prints for Marvel. Just the main characters like Hulk, Captain America, Spider-Man. But I don't really have, I'm not like disgusted or anything like that with the companies. I think it's sad that it's going that route. I don't think it has a whole lot to do with anything other than the situation we're in right now is that it's very, the economy is just really bad because of this COVID thing. And so they're having
that's certainly part of it. I don't know. DC, people don't know this, but DC was always planning on leaving Diamond in this year. The announcement was supposed to come at San Diego Con, that they were going to leave at the end of the year and have their own distribution in 2021. And when Diamond decided not to pay their vendors and pay the publishers for the books in March, that's when DC just said, okay, we're pulling the plug now. And that caught everybody else off guard because the retailers didn't know that DC had been planning this for about a year and a half. Yeah, it's been kind of hush hush. And the only reason I know about it is because I have enough insider people that were aware of what was going on. But it's really hurt them because by doing it quickly, they didn't have their alternative distribution in place. They were supposed to announce it, like I said, last month at San Diego in July, and then spend the next rest of 2020 phasing out of Diamond and rebuilding, and giving the retailers a chance to rebuild and get everything up and running before you do things. And I don't know if you can say that DC, just got trigger happy and pulled the trigger too soon, or what, but it's an interesting situation for everybody right now because of the
I can't really say much about the product that they're making because I don't read anything. I quit comic books as a reader for the most part back in the 90s. Right when Image started. Like the first issue, I think it might have been Spawn or something like that.
Well, 92.
What was it, 92?
Yeah. 92 or 93.
Okay, yeah. So right there, I quit. And it wasn't because of Spawn. I'm just saying I remember Spawn was coming out.
Right.
And
well,
I just
quitting because of, I mean, you figure at that time that was Death of Superman, that was Batman getting his back broken, that was Hal Jordan going nuts and killing the Green Lantern Corps. I don't know if they gotten to do the Spider Clone saga at that point, or if that was a year or two after that, but that whole era was right in that time frame. And I think that alienated a lot of, I don't want to call us old guard readers, but established readers, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the young kids loved it. The kids that were like, 9 to 15, but anybody over the age of 20, I was 22 at the time. I was getting out of college at that time. I don't know. I was like, no, I don't want this. This is not what I want, But, yeah.
So I never really went back as a collector. And every once in a while, someone will recommend a book, and I'll read it or look at it, and I was like, okay, that one's pretty good, But I would say overall, I've lost my enthusiasm for those characters,
right?
And I don't know what they're doing. I see things now that they come out with new ideas, and I'm just like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, who's gonna buy? I mean, anybody can make whatever book they want to make, but who is the audience? I mean, who's going to buy it? It ain't going to be me. I don't want to, but I don't even want to read other things, so I'm kind of picky. So I like what I like. And so I'm doing what I like.
Right. So, well, I called well, let me see here. When I get to the reviews, I'll pull out yours first. Hold on a second. Someone's emailing me or texting me something. Okay. Nothing important. All right. But yeah, it's really interesting that they do that sort of thing. Let's go ahead and go on to the next question. This is one for me more than anybody else. But you have a podcast, so maybe, if you were going to run a podcast where you had a regular co-host to play off of, who might you work with? For me, I do it with either John, who is here in the chat, or Tracy Hollingsworth, who's someone else that's a local friend of mine. Also a musician. He plays drums in the band, teaches drums. He works in a recording studio. And he's a toy manager at my local comic shop. So he's busy boy. But one of those two guys, and if it was a creator type person, I'd like to get it where I had one of the guys that I had in college that I started in the business with, Chad Curry. But unfortunately, Chad's out of comics and doesn't want anything to do with it. But if I could get Chad, I would do a podcast with Chad. How about you, Gary?
William Shatner.
Hey, that would be interesting because he is a comics person. He has done comics in the past.
Has he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's had stuff adapted and he's done some comics. Tech World, his Tech World books were adapted into comics. And I'm trying to think of something else. There's 2 or 3 other things he did that had stuff to do with comics. So, but
I just like him.
Yeah,
I think he's funny.
Yeah. Why did they pulled the plug early, Nighthawk, because Diamond didn't pay any of the publishers or any of the vendors what was owed them back in March. And they were suggesting that they weren't going to pay for several months in a row. And DC's had some concerns with the with Diamond's trying to think of the word, solvency. They've been wondering about whether or not Diamond would just completely go out of business, and that sign that they weren't going to pay them through the COVID crisis and stuff. implied to them that it was time to walk. So again, I don't know if I agree with that assessment, but I understand where they were coming from, because this, like I said, this is well, Diamond didn't just hurt DC; they hurt everybody. Diamond didn't pay Marvel, didn't pay Image, didn't pay Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, Valiant, Dynamite, any of the indie guys from like March until late May, I think, was when the payments started coming back in, and that also hurt a lot of retailers as a result, because nobody, part of it was because they weren't shipping books, so there was no books for retailers to pay for and have money flowing through the economy properly. But that's what we mean by the solvency issue. For all the money that the owner of Diamond, Steve Jeppy, claims to have, he should have been able to float for 2 months or 3 months until things were straightened out, if that was the case. And the fact that they weren't raised some red flags in DC's mind. And like I said, they had some red flags raised for at least the last 18 months prior to that. This is not something that they did really it was done on the spur of the moment, but it was not done without consideration. And that's what a lot of people in the public don't realize. They think that they just did it despite everybody, and that's not what happened. Is that why Valiant Comics is closing its New York headquarters? Yeah, that's part of it. It's not the only reason. Valiant's books are not selling as well as they should be. And they're not getting the capital that they should. And so I think that with everybody working at home for the last, several months, there's no reason to have that overhead of having the offices there if everybody's working from home. That doesn't mean that they won't need to renegotiate their rental or mortgage agreement with whoever they're holding the offices with, or that they won't relocate offices and have offices at a later time. But that's what they're looking at over there, is that situation. Let's see what other questions we have this week. Another question from me directly. It's from a friend of mine named Sean in San Diego. He wants to know if I ever worked for a comics publisher called Gravity Well Productions. Unfortunately, yes, I did. That was back about 20 years ago. I was briefly an editor there, and I quit the company because the owner of the company, who was the writer of the book, kept wanting to override my decisions as the editor on his book. I'm sorry, I'm not publishing a book where the Bermuda Triangle is off the coast of California when the Bermuda Triangle is in the Atlantic Ocean. And I like to have properly spelled words and properly, I'm trying to think of the word, proper grammatical structure in the sentences and stuff like that. So since he kept overriding me and trying to do what he wanted to do with his comic, I just said, okay, well, here's my resignation. Take my name off of everything I've been associated with. I don't want to be with you anymore. But that was my experience with that company. And as far as I know, they don't exist anymore. I don't know how you came across that one, Sean, but it happens. Unfortunately, that happens with a lot of companies in small press. You get hired to do something. If you're not the head person, you get a lot of stuff can get run over. Another question for Gary from Nighthawk Warrior. Do you plan to do a sketch cover variant cover for the single issues for Phase 2 campaign?
I don't know yet. I'm still trying to finish up fulfillment with Phase 1, and I'd like to get more of the pages done with that storyline before getting into those kind of details. That would be more towards the end of having the project done. They
Makes
figure
sense.
all that out. Yeah.
Okay, let's see if we got any more questions in the email box.
Well, I'm going to have to take off because I'm getting really hungry.
Okay, no problem. I want to say thank you then for being here, Gary. And I will go ahead and go eat. Come back. I will review what I thought of the book shortly.
Nice.
Reviews. Okay. So,
All right, well, thanks for having me on.
yes. And everyone who's been watching that's a fan of Gary, stay with me here just for a little bit. As soon as I get done with this quick question, I'm going to go straight into reviews. Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
God
Matt.
bless everybody. Bye.
Bye. All right, let's go quickly on the question. And question is, when are you going to have a new drawing video from multiple parties? Well, we just had one with Gary drawing in the background on this one, so I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully, like I've said, one of the reasons I don't do it more often is my video camera always has my hand drawing blocking the drawing, and it doesn't look as good. But that is, I believe, our questions for the night. Let me check, make it real quick. No, I got one more. And this goes for all you guys, again, for who are self-publishing yourselves. How do I get you to review a comic? I mean, you review what you buy, obviously, but I mean, I'm a self-publisher and I want to have my book reviewed. It's simple. It's, you know, you see the address right here, Quoth the Raven, LBR72@gmail.com. Send me a link to your page, your Kickstarter, your Indiegogo, whatever it is that you want me to take a look at, and contact information. And if I like what I see, I'll get in touch with you. Gary will come back if either if he wants to, but let him go eat first, okay? If he wants to come back in, he can. But I think he's probably going to take off for that. But I am going to review his book real quick. You've already seen a preview of some of the stuff. I'm not going to show any more of the artwork because you don't want it spoiled. I get that. Yeah. So basically, again, if you're an aspiring creator, go ahead and reach out to me at quoththeravenlbr72@gmail.com. And I think that is our last question for the night. So if you have questions, other questions that you think of after the show, or you want to send me stuff, again, quoththeravenlbr72@gmail.com, subject QTR questions. Please indicate whether or not you want your name and locale read on air. There is something else that I do want to talk about with Gary. I didn't get to. Let me do that real quick. And that is his Kickstarter campaign for his sketchbook, which is a somewhat goth and sometimes ugly sketchbook. He's only got 5 backers. It's a $100 goal. It's a hardcover book. It's past the pledge goal. He's got about 24 hours left on this. I'll go ahead and show you that for those of you who might be interested in this. This is his 2020 sketchbook campaign. It's going to be on 8 and 10.5 by 8 large format, 142-page hardcover edition. You can get $10 for the digital sketchbook, $25 for the hardcover signed, $50 for hardcover with a headshot, $75 with a torso signed, $100 for a full body. And if you pledge $101, you get not only the 2020 sketchbook, but all the way back to 2015. So I guess you get 18, 17, 16, and 15 as well. Like all 5 sketchbooks he's done. So if you guys haven't, you guys have been pushing the Titan book and haven't seen this, this is something for you guys to check out. It's all his more stranger artwork he has done already. Well, it's not stranger. I mean, it's more, what's the word I'm looking for? trying to think of the director's name. Edward Scissorhands director. Tim Burton. It's a lot of Tim Burton influence type stuff from what I can see. Which again shows you again the range of diversity of art styles and influences. There's something cool there about Cyclops blowing away Iron Man's armor with his optic blast. That has a really nice, I want to say Gary Kurtzman effect to it. There's another Tim Burton type Batman versus Clayface. Nice watercolor piece there of Gene Wilder. Yeah, I would go Tim Burton. Yeah. So if you haven't supported that one, let me go ahead and get the. Whoops, sorry about that. Keep looking there. I believe that is the address for that. I like the cats there. There's Throg. Thor is a frog. So yeah, you can get digital and hardcover copies with sketches in them for different price level ranges. Or you can get the 2013, 2016, 2018, 2019, and this one. This is a 2020 signed cover, all together with the digital copies and the signature and drawn for 101. So, you know, a lot of good stuff there as well. Mm-hmm. Gary should add his 2019 sketchbook into that perk for all of his sketchbooks. I don't know. Hopefully he'll come back and see that. I'll make sure when I'm reviewing it to remind Gary to look back a little bit in the 2 hour to 2:10 range to start with. Humphrey Bear asks, have you interviewed Eric Ninotowski? No, I have not. I do not know who that is offhand. What is his work? The 2019 sketchbook has Titan on the cover. Okay. Well, you know, maybe he will. Hold on a second. Let's check that again. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, you get the 2019 sketchbook in there for all 5. So I would presume that the one that has Titan on it would be there. Yeah, that would be this one right here, one with the pink in the center. Yeah, so yeah, it's there. Shadow Sentry. Not familiar with that one. Yeah. Is he on Kickstarter or Indiegogo? Humphrey? I don't get... Okay, it is on Indiegogo. Okay, I'll look that up this week and try to see what I think of it and see what's what. And if I can get them on, I will. Eric. Nina Towski. Shadow Century. Indie. IGG. All right. Just wrote that down as a note, so I'll be sure to look that up later this weekend. And if I, like I said, if I see something I like there, I will certainly get with him on that. I appreciate you mentioning it, Humphrey and Nighthawk, both of you. I try to keep in touch with everybody on what's going on, but there's just a lot of stuff. Like I said, Diamond, they think Diamond is the comic industry. Diamond is less than 10% of what's out there in the comics world. So the other 90% is just so large that you don't always see everything. So if you see something you like and you want me to take a look at it, always, email me at the address on it. At the Quoth the Raven LBR 72 email address. Okay. That way I know about it. And if I've already known about it and, great. If I don't know about it, then you're helping me find more content for this program. And I greatly appreciate that. So again, if for those of you who haven't, Eric's very Jim Lee influenced. Well, we'll see. I'm not a huge image guy personally, but that doesn't mean I won't like it. It is, we'll see. Okay. Okay, we've covered all of that for now then, and let's go ahead and cut off the banner real quick. All right, let's go ahead and go into our reviews then. If this thing will do what it's supposed to do, and it's not, I don't like that. This is weird. There we go. All right. This is how I reviewed it. Titan Mouse of Might, hardcover, $25, what I paid for my version. No, I know who Jim Lee is, Nighthawk. I'm not a big fan of Jim's, what I was saying. Again, publishers Packin presents Gary Shipman, writer-artist Gary Shipman. Genre is anthropomorphic heroic adventure. That's how I described it. The ISBN number is 978-1-0878-8943-6 in case for some reason you can't afford to buy the book directly from Gary through social funding. You can look it up through Amazon or maybe through a bookstore or some otherwise. That's the ISBN number you would look it up for. And what the book is about is a mouse that is scientifically empowered with extraordinary powers beyond those of normal mice, who is transported to the world of man. He's the only one who can stop the nefarious plans of the Orion Research Center before falling victim to their evil schemes himself. Who is this Mouse of Might? He is Titan. And this collects the Titan 1-3 issues in an oversized hardcover edition. Recommended for ages 10 and up, rating 5 stars. Normally, I show artwork with my reviews for those of you who haven't seen the show before, but we've already shown the book a little bit. I've already shown some interior pages of it. I guess I could show a little more again, but just like a quick entry into the first page of it. again, like I said earlier in the show, his work reminds me, has a lot of influence from Frank Miller and Art Adams. I see a little bit of Mike Golden in the work as well. He mentioned Klaus Janson as an inker. I can see the Klaus in his art too, in his inks. As I said when he was on screen earlier, I consider this probably up there with Usagi Yojimbo. Usagi Yojimbo to me is right now one of the best comics that's been produced over the last 35, 40 years by Stan Sakai. It's good for all ages. Its craftsmanship is solid throughout. It's got different levels of storytelling to it. Kids can enjoy it at one level, teens can enjoy it at another, adults at yet another level, without anybody being cheated in any way, shape, or form. Or in, you know, there's nothing like dialogue that's means one thing to a kid and another to an adult, if you know what I'm saying. There's nothing like that in this type of book, and that's what we need more types of comics like these. And I wish more publishers would pursue stuff like this rather than flooding the market with what they normally put out these days. So when I ordered the book, like I said earlier, I got a lot of stuff with this. I got the patch. I got the let me see if I can put this together right. There we go. The 3 Titan pieces that make the cover image on one side, and then had the 3 individual contest winners. This was actually by Captain Hiltz. His artwork of the character. He was a winner for the fan contest. This is by Jamie Ramirez. And Chris Winter. There we go. Sorry about the camera doing what it does there. But yeah, so very cool. I keep opening the book to different things, and I keep getting more stuff falling out of the book. Even though I've read it, somehow I miss even more sketch cards. I got a original sketch from Gary of the card, and I got 2 other sketch cards that are printed sketch cards as well, signed by him, that were really cool in the back there, that have storytelling scenes on the back in there as well. And I also got 3 postcards that he signed as well. So very, very solid work. Can't recommend it enough. So make sure you definitely go see that Kickstarter or Indiegogo if you haven't already backed it. Most of the viewers tonight have backed Gary, and I really appreciate that you guys have come over and watched the program. I hope you also enjoyed seeing Bob Frantz and Jake and Hiram on their books as well. Let's see what else we got in our reviews this week. Okay, our first other review is Aaron Lopresti's Raw Imagination, 20 Years of Sketches. Publisher is Aaron's company. Real quick question here before we go there about from Captain Hiltz. What are your thoughts on Titan in black and white versus color? Personally, I think black and white fits this noir story. I probably would. I think I prefer it in black and white. I really haven't. I mean, I've seen some of the color stuff here. It's well done, but the color, sometimes the color will it'll hide the line art sometimes, not meaning to, but it's not. It does happen, and you lose some of the effect of the line art and color work. More so these days than in the past when we did mostly flat colors. But now with a lot of the tones and the computer coloring and other stuff, it can get lost. So some of the artwork gets lost in the translation sometimes, and I actually like it better in black and white for this particular series. Again, let's go quickly to sketch. I'm trying to get the book out of its packaging here. I just had this thing out, and there it is. Now it doesn't want to open, of course. All right. Again, this is Raw Imagination, 20 Years of Sketches. Cold Crocodile Press is Aaron Lopresti's company. For those of you who don't know who Aaron is, Aaron has done work for about 30 years in the business. He's worked on Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman, X-Men, all kinds of books over the years. And this is his book. I gave it a 5-star rating. I'm a little bit biased, I have to admit, but I ordered it for $25, and for an extra $20, he did this head sketch of my character, Tina Blake, from Blake and Terror, which is actually on. He actually did this live on his podcast. One of his I'm trying to think of live shows anyway. He's going to draw his own comic titles, Garbage Man. Actually, Garbage Man has already been done. DC published it originally as part of an anthology series a few years ago. And they decided not to collect it, and they gave the rights back to Aaron. And he tried to get it crowdfunded, and it didn't reach its goal. So I don't know where exactly Garbage Man is. I don't think he knows yet. Yeah, he's done Garbage Man. He's readjusted the pages that had Batman in it, because in the DC version, Batman was in it, and obviously you can't reprint it with Batman in it for copyright reasons. So he took Batman out and put a different character in it. Yeah, he's redoing the Garbage Man stuff, but I don't know if he'll be doing that book right now or what. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing with that yet, but hopefully he'll be doing it again, because I want to get a copy of that, because I did back it when he solicited it the first time. But let's go ahead, and for those of you who might not have taken a look at, some of you apparently are familiar with Aaron, but I don't know if you guys have actually got a chance to see the interior of the book. It's a 64-page hardcover, and there's about 180 images total in the book. Some of it's in pencils, as you can see, and some of it is pen and ink. Now this, and John saying good night to everyone. And Night Hawk Warrior says, I think he's close to finishing. I'm pretty sure that the book has been finished for Garbage Man. It's just a matter of whether or not he's planning to re-solicit in a different format or whatever he's going to do as far as the Kickstarter or campaigning to sell that particular project, or if he's going to focus on one of the other projects like his Kit Carter series. I think he might do that one before he relaunches the Garbage Man. I'm not sure. I'm hoping to get Aaron on the show and talk about that sort of stuff down the road. We just haven't had time to schedule that yet. But yes, I gave this a 5-star rating. I recommend it for 12 and up. It's limited to 750 signed and numbered copies. This is copy 179, and like I said, it had the feature of my character Tina Blake. And quickly, let me show you what he had to work with. This is what he referenced from. That's my version of the character. And that's what he drew. So you can do a side-by-side comparison. Let's see what else we got this week. We got all kinds of fun stuff for review. Come on. There we go. Other books I got this week was Adventure Man #3 from Image Comics. Matt Fraction is the writer. Terry Ott and Rachel Dotson are the artists for $3.99. Action Adventure released this week. Recommended for ages 13 and up. What it's about, Claire Connell's adventure into the other dimension from last issue comes with drastic changes. Her family is concerned with her well-being and have rushed her to the hospital to discover she has grown over 15 inches in height and over 100 pounds of muscle. Also known as She-Hulk without the green jeans. Basically, she's become a female version of Adventure Man. Nobody can explain anything, and the hospital sends her home. I call bullshit on this. They keep her for observation and wouldn't let her out of their sight. I just don't. It took me right out of the story when he did that. She also saves the life of a person who needs a blood transfusion herself in the middle of the ER. Also call bullshit on that. She would just say, I'm a universal blood donor, and the medical team would conduct the procedure. If she tried to do it herself like that, I can almost guarantee you that she would be getting pulled aside by security or other orderlies or something like that. So I was not very pleased with the story. The art, as always, by Terry and Rachel Dotson is awesome, but Fraction's just not selling it to me. Stuff like this and the incredibly slow pace of the book, 96 pages over 3 issues, and really not a whole lot has happened in the story yet between 3 issues. I can honestly say if it was anybody else other than the Dotsons on the book, I'd probably be long gone. So I only give it 2.5 stars out of 5. That's the bare minimum I can say of an average comic. So, you know, basically it's about this woman, Claire Connell, who is a fan of the classic pulp Adventure Man comic and movie and TV series type thing. I think it's a pulp fiction book series. Only the characters from the book are real, and she doesn't know that. And they come from the other dimension. They give her the book, and she gets the powers, and her son may be involved, and her family might all have powers. They haven't gotten to any of that yet in 3 issues yet. They just, you know, in 3 issues, they've, you know, like I said, I wanted to give it a good rating. The first one I liked it. I gave it a 4. The second one, I gave it a 3. But this one, you know, it's like 3 issues in, 96 pages of story, and I don't feel like I've seen anything. So I gave it a 2.5 this week. Well, let's take a quick look at the art. And this is where she's in the hospital getting looked at. And this is where she's explaining stuff, and, you know, and he's telling her, yeah, you grew 15 inches and a buck in weight, meaning 100 pounds. And, you know, they're explaining to her, well, wait a minute. Well, when you say that I've done that, it does sound kind of strange. No, really? And like I said, they just send her home, and it doesn't make any sense to me. Her son, who's the blonde in the center, says, hey, you texted me something, and they see it, and then they hand it over to her father, and it's a blank text screen. Nobody else can see it but the two of them. And that's basically because they believe that the pulp book is real and the others don't know anything about it or don't care. Like I said, not my cuppa, unfortunately. I wish it were, but again, it sounds interesting. The cover, all the covers are kind of so-so. You can go back in my archives over the last month or so of shows and look into reviews. They're there for the first 2 issues. I don't remember exactly which episodes they are, Nighthawk, but they're there. Let's see. Other reviews. Alienated, number 5 of 6, $3.99. Boom Studios. Simon Spurrier is the writer. Chris Wildgoose is the artist, with colors by Andre May. The genre is science fiction teen drama, released yesterday. And what it's about is Samuel, who's the guy in the cover there, uses Chip, which is the alien being behind him, to take over a popular video podcast so that he can give his ridiculous rant. He's very much one of these people who thinks he's been, all the kids have been mistreated and are forgotten about, and they need to rise up and take power for themselves and all this silly nonsense. Only he's a damn moron when he does it and completely botches the takeover. The helmet that he's got in his hand, he first puts it on and then he takes it off and starts talking where you can see his face. And the mic is in the camera, is in the helmet, so there's nothing but dead air on the podcast while he's doing his rant. That's how dumb he is. So anyway, there's 2 other Sams. One's a Samantha and one's a Sam Ain or something like that. And all 3 of them have connections to Chip. And anyway, when Samuel discovers their betrayal, he goes ballistic and he's trying to basically just he's a mentally disturbed kid anyway. The concept of this book had a lot of potential, but the writer just took it in the most obvious possible direction he could have done, and it's really killed my interest in the series. There's only 1 more issue left, so I'm going to go ahead and get it, but they better make it good. And I'm going to say 2 out of 5. It's recommended for ages 16 and up. Let's take a quick look at the art. This is him. This is Sam whining. Chip's got this bubble of force fields that nobody will bother him and know what he's doing. He's looking at the kid who won the video podcast contest that he thought he was going to win. And so he just tells Chip, who's like this alien that can do much of anything he wants, to give him control of the podcast, and they transport mystically or whatever into the podcast studios and take over. The color work is nice by Andre May. But, again, story-wise, it really has, unfortunately, gone as obvious and one-dimensional directionally, story-wise, as it could have. There was so much more that could have been done, and that's something I find a lot of problems with a lot of the, I guess you could say, the mainstream indie artists, because Boom is still mainstream in a way, but it is an independent creator-owned story. Let's go ahead and see what else the next review is. Oh, here's another one from artwork from that thing. Here's where he just finished his rant, and everybody in the podcast is going, well, yeah, there's been nothing but dead air for like the last 2 or 3 minutes. What do you mean? And there's the guy saying, well, I thought you knew, you're a sound guy and you know your own podcast. The microphone's in the helmet. Without the helmet on, you turn the whole show off. And you see he's about ready to cry, and that's not fair. Silly. But as it is, let's go on to the next book. The next book is Cloven Book 1 from Fantagraphics Books, $24.99. Writer is Garth Stein. The artist is Matthew Southworth. If you've seen the comic or TV series on ABC Stumptown, that's the artist who did that book. The genre is urban fantasy. It's a hardcover edition. So the ISBN number is 978-1-68396-310-3. And what it's about is James Tucker is the most successfully genetically modified human organism ever created. Conceived in a privately financed top-secret laboratory in Washington State's Vashon Island, Tucker is a cross between a human and a goat, a CLOVEN. All he wants to do is live a normal life as a university student. Everything's going fine until he shows a girl his hooves. Moody and mysterious, the reader follows Tuck's breakneck journey across the Pacific Northwest as he searches for his true home out there somewhere. Recommended for ages 16 and up. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. And this is the hardcover book. Relatively thick. I don't know if it has page count on here or not. I'll check real quick. It does not. The pages are not the glossy type stock. It's more of a flat mat. And here's some of the artwork. Going to get a little bit closer in there. What's a shame? Nighthawk. Elaborate, please. And there he is as the CLOVEN, showing his hooves on his feet. And there's a hunter trying to kill him. And he karate kicks him with a hoof. The story by Stein is well done. I don't want to give too much away of it. If you like, I'm trying to think of the book that I was just reviewing for Boom, the other book for Boom, King of Nowhere. You will like this book. If you like Fables, you'll probably like this book. It's a little darker than those, but it's good, solid read. I'll probably give a little bit more in-depth review of this a little bit in maybe the next episode or two, but because I only had a chance to do a quick read, but I did enjoy this thoroughly. Let's see what our next book is. Our next book is Join the Future from Aftershock Comics, $3.99. The writer is Zach Kaplan. Peter Kowalski is the artist. The colorist is Brad Simpson. The genre is science fiction. Released yesterday, August 12th. For those of you who don't know the story so far, we're 4 issues in. Basically, it's the future. There's cityscapes that have people that control the population and give kind of like a perfect world, so to speak. But anybody who lives outside there, it's like living in the Old West almost. There's almost no technology. And that's where the lead character, Clementine, who's the daughter of a sheriff, is there, living in that world. And the people who come from the city say, okay, you have a choice. We're going to just take your lands and rebuild some more city, and you can either join and be part of the perfect society, so to speak, or else be wiped out. And so they basically wipe out and kill her father and her brother, and they capture her as of last issue. But then in this issue, she's stupidly released, basically saying, well, yeah, you could just hang yourself on a noose, but since you're a minor, we're just going to say you signed this paperwork that you agree to go live in the city, and here you go. And she runs away. That's how silly this is. But anyway, the guy who murdered her brother chases after her. They have their fight, and she beats him in a rather, in my opinion, unbelievable manner. He has an energy knife that somehow she makes him miss her, cut through something else that's metal, and she uses the metal to grab and drive that into his chest and kill him. Didn't make a lot of sense. But anyway, she somehow makes it back to her town, which has now been deserted, where she meets with the traitor who had betrayed her and gave her up to the bad guys, who gives her regular gun back. Why? Don't know why exactly. If she's got no weapons, why would you give her one to shoot you with? But he does. She doesn't shoot him either. They just have this conversation about ethics and morals, and he leaves town in his truck, and she goes to prepare to defend the town from being burned down and redesigned, more or less. Meanwhile, the entire backstory of what's going on in the city is not being told at all, because what's going on in the city isn't what you think. It's like Soylent Green type stuff going on, and the people aren't all having a great life. So not pleased. I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars for that reason. And, you know, I'm not going to go into that too much there, but there's the artwork. And Kowalski does a nice job on the art. I don't mind the artwork. This is where she's with the traitor. He just gave her back her gun. They argue a little bit, and he's saying, you know, those machines are coming here and they're going to, you know, destroy the town, and there's more lawmen coming too. And she's like, good, yeah. And he's like, well, take some real weapons or some gear. And she's like, nope, I'm not going to do it. So he's like, fine, goodbye. And he pulls off in his truck. And now she's in the hardware store, and she's moving all the trucks that were in town to one thing, and basically setting up a bunch of death traps for anybody who's going to come and try and wreck the place or come get her. It's okay, but, you know, overall, just kind of there. Next book, Judge Dredd, False Witness number 2, $3.99, IDW Publishing. Brandon Easton is the writer. Kay Zama is the artist. Colors by Ava de la Cruz. The genre is post-apocalyptic science fiction action, and released yesterday, August 12th. And what it's about, well, in yet another let the defeated go, they won't do anything to us, or can't do anything to us, soon to be rulers of the world moment, just like in the last book. They let the lead character, Simon the Courier, go, thinking he can't tell anyone about their illegal activities that he's seen, where the rich are abducting the poor youth of Mega City 1 and using their blood to keep themselves young. Of course, Simon has other plans. Meanwhile, the judges, Judge Dredd and his people, are already suspicious of the activities, but they are distracted by social demonstrations by the citizens orchestrated by these parties, so they can't find any evidence. Simon gets a coded message to the judges anonymously, but is still on the run. Judges realize they have corrupt parties in their ranks also. A judge had attempted to erase that coded message. And we see an interesting reveal at the end of the issue. Ages 16 and up, I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. And here's the interior art. And this is where they find one of the judges is telling Dredd that they found the coded message, and that it was hidden and almost completely erased, but they found it. And Dredd is like, okay, well then I'm going to where I need to be. And he gets there, and some of these people, protesters, are in the wear. And this little punk kid with a gun says, oh, you can't do nothing to me. My dad's rich. Da, 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 da. You know, why don't you just get out of here, lawman? And Judge Dredd just knocks him out of his shoes and says, anybody else? Excuse me while I go do my business. It was pretty, you know, if you like Dredd, it's fine. Normally I wouldn't have gotten this, but the writer, Brandon Easton's a friend of mine, and I've been wanting to support his work, so I went ahead and got it. And I haven't been too disappointed in the series so far. Kei Zama's art's nice as well, so 3 out of 5 is good. Our next book is Read Only Memories, number 4 of 4. It's the last issue. The publisher is IDW Publishing, $3.99. The writers, the main writer is Sina Grace. Mary Kelly does the backup feature. The artist is for the lead feature is Stefano Simeone, and the backup artist is Christina Neofotisto. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not. The genre is science fiction, cyberpunk mystery, and it was released on August 5th. The lead character, private investigator Rivers, has uncovered the activities of a cult, killing people and downloading their minds into AI robot bodies. Can she escape their headquarters and get this information into the right hands and end their schemes and prove what happened to her client's lost lover, or will she become another person sacrificed? This is the final issue. The conclusion is reasonably well done. Comes to a satisfactory conclusion, but there were plenty of plot points that were a little bit wonky, and for that reason, it's only a mid-level quality book. It's ages 16 and up, 3 out of 5 stars. And this is the artwork for that. It's well done. She's getting wrecked by one of the AI robot bodies there. She has a knife in her hand. That's what that square there, that looks like a word balloon in red is. And she takes the knife and slashes part of his body, which kind of wrecks the body for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. And she's been shooting at him. She's trying to get the paperwork that would prove that her client's lover has been killed and was supposed to be downloaded and what was going on. Continuing the battle with this entity. And this is the last thing after the police have been called in and they've arrested everyone. And she goes to the grave, the funeral of the client's lover who had died. And the client is actually a robot in its own right. And so they put the flowers in the grave and they have an argument with the guy's parents over whether they even had a right to be there. But, okay. The next book is Stealth. Number 4, $3.99 from Skybound Image Comics. Writer is Mike Costa. Artist is Nate Bellegarde. Colorist is Tamara Bonvillain. The cover is by Jason Howard, and the genre is superhero, released yesterday, August 12th, 2020. What it's about, Stealth, that's the bird-type guy that you see on the cover. He's a superhero with dementia from being old. Well, if Gary's doing his own live stream, that's his priority, and that's no problem. He might be having my stuff in the background looking at it. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's fine. Anyway, he escapes his hideout trap, which they had trapped him in with the gangs in Detroit last issue by blowing the building up. And the lead villain starts killing other gangs and crime busts while waiting for the city to turn over Stealth. And they have figured out that Tony, Stealth's son, is connected to Stealth, so that they force him off the side of a bridge. And the car, they just drive the car over the side of the bridge. And he goes straight down, nose into the ground. But amazingly, somehow he escapes that and is on the run. And I'm like, no, he died when the car impacted on the ground. Stop writing bullshit. Again, this has been a rough week for the comics, I'm afraid. So there's only one more issue of this series, and I'm done. I gave it 2 out of 5. There's where he blows up the house, and you see he's flying away, drops the whatever it is on the bad guy's car. It's just there. DC Adventures, or DC Strange Adventures, number 4, $4.99. DC Comics Black Label, writer Tom King, artist by Mitch Gerards and Evan Doc Shaner. Science fiction hero mystery, August 5th release. Mr. Terrific's investigation into Adam Strange's novel and the events that inspired it take him to the planet Ran, where the locals basically try to stonewall his investigation, and Terrific doesn't take too kindly to this. King is making the Iranian seem evil. The writer's making the Iranian seem evil, hiding info and threatening Holt. That's terrific. With violence, bullying tactics, and other methodology. Unfortunately, the story's taking way too damn long to tell the story. It's a 12-issue series, and I think the whole story could have probably been told in 6. So I'm not happy about that. On top of this, given DC's current state of affairs, which we talked about earlier in the episode tonight, I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't get not canceled, but cut short after a few more issues. So it's recommended for ages 17 up. I gave it a 3 out of 5. And the art's good. This is Mitch Gerard's art. And this is where Adam's talking to Superman, asking him to fly him to Ran to help his own planet. And for whatever reason, Superman saying, can't do that because I've got other obligations to protect Earth over here. So if I go help you, it would leave all of Earth vulnerable. So, okay. Here we go. Here's a good one. Usagi Yojimbo Color Classics number 6. IDW Publishing, $3.99. Stan Sakai, writer-artist by colors by Rhonda Pattinson. Anthropomorphic Samurai Adventure, released yesterday, August 12th, 2020. Multiple stories of Usagi Yojimbo's adventures as a wandering Ronin samurai. This is my last review for the Usagi Yojimbo series. I've been reviewing them for over a year. If you haven't figured out by now that this is the best comic series produced in America, with nothing but 5-star reviews, and nothing but heaps of praise for the book in the last 6 months on the show, I can't convince you, or there's no hope for you. I can't convince you to buy. So if you've never seen Usagi or your retailer doesn't carry it, punch the damn idiot retailer in the nose for me and tell them it's from me and that their sorry ass should be selling at least 50 units. No excuses. I'm quite serious about that. All ages, buy it already. And I feel kind of almost the same way about Titan, Gary's book. I wish this book was in stores. It should be in stores. So, we'll see. It doesn't look like Gary's going to come back tonight. Unfortunately, I think he went and got something to eat and is running his own live stream now, which is fine, But I want to thank you all for coming and watching the remainder of the show. Again, this is a 5-star rating book, and this is some of the artwork from that. And this is where a pig is going to attack him and try and throw him out of a restaurant area. And he takes his sword out and slashes all the flies that are flying around him, and then puts his sword back in the scabbard. And he thinks, oh, he didn't even touch me. Lousy. Nighthawk is still here, as far as I know. But then it's explained that he killed all the flies and they flee, and he finishes his meal in peace. Another story, Blind Swords Pig. He uses his nose to fight off enemies. He kills some people, and that means that Usagi has to fight him. So that's that. And that is our reviews for the week. I want to thank all of our guests, Bob Frantz and Jake Smith and Hiram Corbett, and of course Gary Shipman. Hope that you enjoyed looking at everyone's work. I know a lot of you are Gary's fans, and I really appreciate you guys coming in this week. Hope you guys come on a regular basis and watch the show. I try to get a lot of different people on the show every week. I've had Mark Andrew Smith. I've had Riley Brown. I've had Ron Randall, who does Trekker for used to be with Dark Horse. He now self-publishes it on Kickstarter. Quite a few other people as well over the year that I've been on the air with this channel. So There'll be plenty more where that came from. And in fact, like you guys said in the chat, that you're also aspiring talents and working on your own books. Go ahead and contact me at the address you see on the screen below. Now, that being said, I want to go ahead and let you know how to reach me otherwise as well. You can reach me on Facebook at lewis.brightraven, at DeviantArt at deviantart.com/brightraven, here on Quoth the Raven at Quoth the Raven Lewis Brightraven on YouTube. The Gmail address is quoththeravenlbr72@gmail.com, and Yahoo at lewisbrightraven@yahoo.com if you can't reach me at the Gmail address. The podcast airs regularly on Thursdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Eastern Daylight Time. Okay, so again, thank you all for watching. And next week, we will be reviewing Wally Wood's Mad Work and a Suicide Squad from the 80s trade featuring John Ostrander as writer. And we'll cover some of the free comic book day books that have come out through the stores recently and some additional stuff. I don't know who we're going to get for guests just yet, but just keep, subscribe to that channel, hit the subscribe button, and we'll let you guys know, or keep tabs on my Facebook page. Okay. And thank you all for coming. And you guys all have a good evening and a good, safe weekend as well. Nighthawk, Captain, Humphrey, all the others who came in this evening throughout the night. I appreciate you guys being here. And for that, let's see, I got one more thing to do here. I'm just trying to get this thing to shut down for my music. And it's not going to work as usual. I hate when it does that to me. That's okay. I'll get it working. Don't worry.